Oh, it feels so good to be here with you this morning. Welcome in. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Everyone's feeling so fantastic this morning. Nobody is fussy at all. Padres with a huge dub yesterday, and we are here together. I will say, we're all a little bit banged up, a little worse for wear, certainly, but great to be here with you guys. Let's get our heads right on a Friday, if you will. I am Woodsy. That is Paul Reindl. He is the executive producer and imaging director. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning. I was at the game yesterday, and it was very back and forth. Great game. And I go, we got to win this one.
Win this one.
I need a happy Friday.
Yeah.
I need an easy Friday. I need a happy Mike Shildt.
Yeah.
We got to win this one.
No, we're still going to pound Mike Shildt today when we talk to him.
Tough questions.
Tough questions that need to be answered immediately. To my left, Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, who put in a very, very long day yesterday. Without the help of, alcohol and things like that, I don't know if it helped me or if it hurt me. I feel...
I had a little alcohol early in the day.
Yeah.
Then we went sober the rest of the day to get through. Finally got home around 10:30, 10:40 after... Just a constant stream of being downtown and television hits after the radio show, but it was a pretty good day. Obviously, Aztecs didn't do as well as we had hoped, but you can't really be too surprised.
Day. I thought it was a great day.
It was a great day.
The Aztecs winning would have made it an elite day, I suppose.
Yeah,
but I had a fantastic day.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Aztecs game. We watched all of that too. We're also joined in studio today by a very special guest, Hotel Hannah herself. Has joined us. She's basically my ride, so she had to be here. And we'll ask your opinion on a couple things, but good morning to you, my dear.
Good morning, everybody.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Now, you passed out early last night, about 6:30, so Hotel Hannah did not make an appearance last night.
No, I was done.
Hotel Hand Steven made an appearance, but not Hotel Hannah. It domes her out when I tell her that I'll do that when she's next to me in bed. She doesn't believe me.
Wait, you did that last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
As far as you know.
Like, whoa.
As far as you know. But it's good to see your beautiful face in here this morning.
It's good to be seen.
You of the broadcasting lore. She always thinks she can do this job better than I can.
I have never said that.
She says it all the time, and so yeah, we'll probably go to you a couple times today. So just be ready, be on your toes.
I'm always ready.
All right, because I know you got a good night's rest last night. Got to sleep very, very early,
and I slept in.
She slept in and she just conked out last night. But well, what were some of the highlights for you guys yesterday,
I
Benny?
think for me, I want to say thank you to the one or two tier ones who stopped me to say hello downtown San Diego yesterday.
It was amazing.
And by one or two, several hundred of you all
amazing.
day long,
Unreal.
and that was awesome. That was really, really cool. It was a good party. Everyone was, I think, cautiously optimistic. It wasn't like last year, like everyone's going in and we're gonna roll the Rockies, we're gonna stomp them, and then the stunning kind of loss at the end of the day that. Like, what happened there? Well, that was an aberration. I think this year everyone went in going hopeful, like, okay, let's see what happens. And then after the game, everyone was just in a phenomenal mood, having seen a win and, a good game and a come-from-behind effort. A couple times where they came from behind to take the lead, rallying, just what we never seemed to see last season. I must have heard like 70 times I'm like, that's the kind of game they don't win last year. That's the kind of game they don't win last year. So seemed like everyone was in a really good mood as they walked out, and that made me happy. I had a smile on my face all afternoon long.
Now so we went to the game, and I was pretty cash by like the fifth, and I didn't have seats, so I couldn't sit anywhere. So we went out to Gallagher. By the way, credit where credit is due. The new Gallagher Square is incredible. We loved it. We went on the hunt for our brick. And after a while, everyone was doing the same thing. It was right around the Tony statue. And we're looking, running into some tier ones. Hey, if you see mine, yell at me. And if I see yours, I'll let you know. So it is fully, you feel like I'm honestly searching for a lost earring. You know what I mean? You're looking, there's no way you can find it. Finally, somebody spots it for us. Go over and see it, and it was really cool to see and find. So now we know where it is. Our kids are going to love it to see their names on the brick there. I loved seeing my name on there, and it was awesome. So milled around down there a little bit, walked up to see Sammy in the that Budweiser lounge and talked to him for a minute. He was busy, so we just took a picture with him and then just started to meander a little bit around the ballpark, got some delicious food. We went to the Piccati and Gelati, had some pizza there. It was outstanding. Was really, really good. Walked back down to Gallagher Square, and I was done. I wanted to watch the game, and I could hear things, and I was watching on the big screen, but I wanted to see, like, sit down and watch it. And so we were staying close by, so I said, let's go. We'll watch it on our iPad or whatever. And so we left. Somebody's going to rank me out for it. I've never stayed for a full game, and I never will. So if that makes, in your mind, I'm not a true fan, I can live with that because I just wanted to get home and consume Mud and Don and take some notes on the game and, pay attention to it. When I'm out there in Gallagher Square, I lose focus a little bit. So that's what we did. She was very mad at me for dragging her out of there. But I had also had the 2 shots at breakfast. No, and then 1 shot at Corey's tailgate, and then 2 giant cups of sangria at Corey's tailgate. I was done. I was like, if I keep going, it's going to be bad.
Now, did you walk back to your hotel, or did you use one of our pedicabs in downtown San Diego?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, well, we walked, but it wasn't for a lack of trying from the pedicab drivers. Those things, I'm not going to rank out how anyone wants to make a living. That being said, those things are menaces. You're telling me they've outlawed bird scooters downtown.
I told you about my experience with the big speaker LED light pedicabs, right?
Yeah.
We were there. We
like
stayed downtown for my birthday.
drive.
I wish it was $80.
What was it?
It was like $115 to go. I don't know.
Joyride or
3
somewhere?
blocks? No, to our hotel.
To your hotel.
We went from dinner to our hotel. It was maybe 3 blocks. It was cold and windy and late. We're like, let's just get this. It'll be fun. Let's do it. Dude, we got off. I was like assaulted afterwards. I felt violated because I'm like, how much was this? I have no idea. There's no
They don't
prices
post
listed.
their
There's no
rates.
price.
No.
And he just was like, he's like holding an iPad to swipe my card. I'm like, how much is it? And he goes, how much is it? And then he just swipes my card for me, and it was $115. I'm like, okay.
For 3 blocks.
Yeah.
That's criminal. That's criminal.
It was
So is the music
ridiculous.
that they play.
I mean, it was my favorite part of the night. This was incredible. So the game's over. So we go downstairs from our hotel room. We watch the rest of the Padres game. Now we wanted to go find some food and watch the Aztecs play. And that was the next goal. So we found, what's it called? Water Grill.
The Water Girl.
The Water Grill. We've got got our name on the list to wait to get in. This dude walks up. God bless you, sir. You know who you are. He was schnocked, and he gets in the back of the pedicab. He's fumbling with the long seatbelt, and he's like, brrr. And then he goes to the guy. He's right in front of us. He goes, "You play some Metallica?" And the guy's like, yeah, sure. And he puts the seatbelt on, and as they speed off, we see him doing the drums in the back of the pedicab, like getting after it, like Lars Ulrich.
Awesome.
It was incredible. Those things were weaving in and out of traffic, and all you hear is like, "What is love? Baby, don't hurt me," just hauling ass around downtown. And I'm like, so I can't ride a bird scooter, but these guys can drive these chariots through downtown at 40 miles an hour. Okay.
Now,
makes
Megan was
sense.
telling me, I
Ben Hur.
guess there's either something has been recently passed or is about to get passed. The pedicab guys are all pissed off at the city because there's like ordinances going on where they can no longer drive right up to the hotels, like through the valet loops, because they're like, it's too loud. You're annoying everybody.
It's so loud.
So like they're
Sweet home Alabama.
their
What
access
in
is
the
getting
world?
a little bit limited, and they're not happy about it. But
I
I'm
can
like,
see.
fine
I
by
think they're
me.
retaliating.
It was and weaving, and I mean weaving in and out of traffic on 2 wheels. One guy flew across the thing. Hannah and I were like, and everyone down there was
gosh.
loaded. Yeah, there it is. Welcome to the jungle.
That was the one that we saw. With the neon lights.
It was so good. It was so good. But yeah, so we had a nice meal.
Now, I'm not expecting downtown to be some peaceful oasis like spa day. When you're walking through the streets of
Right.
downtown, you
It's gonna be
expect
a little ruckus.
activity and liveliness. I just think maybe the pedicabs take it a little bit too far when it comes to the noise pollution and the danger to pedestrians in downtown San Diego.
Cole wants to know what's worse, the pedicabs or the e-biker gangs. Now, we live in Encinitas, where the little gangs of e-bikers, they don't bug me very much because I didn't have an e-bike when I was a kid, but I had a bike, and there would be 40 of us riding as a little gang on our bikes, too.
Bro,
So
every time
it.
I drive through Encinitas and I see like this gang of teenagers on these e-bikes, I go, it makes me happy, honestly. I know everybody hates it.
Because
and
they're
I go,
together.
Bro, I would be doing the exact same thing.
There's no question.
If I grew up in this time and I was 15 years old, I would have one of those e-bikes and I'd be like, guys, let's roll.
We've already told both of our kids.
Sons of Anarchy, Sons of Encinitas.
That's not going to happen. Like you're gonna be on a 10 speed, whether you like it or not, until you can drive. Like it's not going to happen because they go about 60 miles an hour, and we see them around the neighborhood all the time. And I just don't want my kids getting hurt. That's the thing. But no, it doesn't bother me too much because we were in a little bike gang when we were kids, but we were not in a pedicab gang. We definitely were not driving pedicabs around at 40 miles an hour downtown. But I'll tell you what, man, San Diego certainly showed up yesterday for the Padres and certainly showed up for Ben and Woods. I remain blown away every time I run into Tier 1s, and people just – we have really made a cool connection with them, and I'm very, very grateful for that. In fact, one of our favorite Tier 1s, Anthony the Butcher, it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Anthony.
Happy
Bro,
birthday,
he
Anthony.
wrote me a DM last night that basically said, I started listening to the show, I made a ton of friends from this show, and now I've got people flying in, Tier 1s that I met through your show for my birthday. People are driving up to Murrieta tonight for the Tier 1 barbecue that they've put on. And I just said, he goes, I owe it all to you guys. And I just went, man, that is incredible. So happy birthday, AB. Oh, it's next week. Sorry, next week, buddy. But he and that whole group and all of you guys out there that make it a priority to listen, come to our events. We just thank you so much.
Dude, it was so cool at our broadcast yesterday, just being able to put more names and faces together.
Always.
And especially now, like this YouTube community that we've gotten to chat over the last year has been incredible. And you guys are crazy. You're in here for 4 hours every single morning talking with us throughout our shows, and it just feels like we're all a bunch of friends now, just kind of getting through each morning.
Well, you
and
make
like
us
meeting Rafa, for example. He goes, "Oh, this is little Rafa." I get to meet his son. I'm like, "Yes, I
you
know
make
he was
us
there."
you make us look good, man, because Baja Rick himself was standing there at the back,
dude,
with his hands on his hips,
Master of his domain.
looking over his restaurant, nodding his head, and he's like, "Son of a bitch!"
You guys made us look really good.
Money well spent.
That's
just
sweet.
looking, and he's just kind of nodding his head. I'm like, man, this is awesome. So thank you. You're gonna, the fact that you guys come to those means we can do more things. So thanks for being there. So let's get into some baseball and some basketball and all of the fun things ahead for Ben and Woods today on a Friday.
Great. We will set the menu. We've got some killer guests on a Friday today, getting into the
Really
regular
nice.
season, including the skipper of the Padres, who will join us today for the first of his regular appearances of the year. We'll tell you all about it when we come back, talk about the game and more. It's Ben and Woods. Let's get our first check of traffic. Kelly Danick standing by on a Friday. Good Friday. Easter weekend coming up here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Now, full confession, because I was working yesterday and we were live all evening from the Marriott downtown on Channel 10, I only sort of half got to pay attention to the Aztec team. You probably watched it a little more closely than I did. Obviously the final score was ugly, 82-52. UConn is a juggernaut, and at this point I'd be very surprised if they don't go on and win the national title, but there's still some good teams remaining.
We talked about it earlier in the week, I think. It's not like BYU. I hate losing to BYU.
Sure.
New Mexico, UNLV. It bothers me. UConn has beat our butts like a couple of really big games now over the last 10, 12 years.
Which sucks, but...
And it sucks, but there's just some part of me, I'm like, I don't hate UConn.
Some respect.
It's a tip of the cap.
Yeah.
Watching last night, it ended up being a 30-point blowout.
Well,
You're
you
just
didn't...
like, man, they're just really good.
You didn't play well and lost by 30. Had you played extremely well, you would have lost by 10. They're unbelievable, man. Their vision.
And even Dan Hurley, their coach, admitted we played a really good game today, even for us, for a really good team. And I know the Aztecs didn't have their best game. I've got his comments. We'll get to him a little bit later. But I was just going to say, I don't think it wasn't the worst time to not be able to watch the entire game. I thought when I saw it in the first half, I go, looks like they're hanging with them okay.
They were.
But they're just so relentless. It's like, all right, it looks like the Aztecs are playing well, and they're within 3, and now they're playing well, and they're within 6, and now they're playing well, and they're within 9. And it's like, how do you keep playing okay, and yet the lead continues to grow for UConn? They were just that kind of team, relentless. They never seem to have. They have a little lull in the first half where they didn't score for like 3 minutes. That was about it, though. You never felt like you had a great opportunity to come back in that game. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But obviously, early in the show, we will be devoted to the San Diego Padres coming up here at the bottom of the hour, a Padres wrap-up.
Yeah.
And you'll hear Jesse and Tony's calls. If you didn't get it yesterday, you'll hear all of it of the Padres' 6-4 win over the San Francisco Giants on opening day. Contributions from just about everyone.
Yep.
No one was the huge star, but everyone seemed to do something in that game yesterday, which is something I really like to see from the Padres. So we'll give you our spin on it as well coming up. In the 7 o'clock hour, we got Take on Woods and Don't Do This. I am looking forward to the second half of our show today, though.
Very much.
We will have Eno Sarris joining us. Now, Eno's going to be a Thursday regular again this season, but he agreed to join us here on a Friday to give us some of his thoughts on opening day around Major League Baseball. He made some of his bold predictions in The Athletic this week, a couple of surprises out there. I'm going to ask him to make a bold San Diego Padres prediction based on his wisdom and knowledge and information at some point. I'm hoping it's a good one. I'm not going to limit him. Maybe he'll make a bad, bold San Diego Padres prediction, but I think the numbers are fairly kind to the Padres. So we'll talk to Eno at the top of our 8 o'clock hour. We've got one more pair of Tom Segura tickets to give away. It's been a very popular giveaway this week. Comedian coming to Pechanga Arena later this year. The tickets go on sale today, so you can be the last to win them before they become available to the public later today. We'll give those away. We're going to do an early Reindl Report at 8:30 because the Manager's Report debuts today, 9 a.m., and you can plan it. Set your clocks to it on Fridays when Mike Shildt joins us on a weekly basis here on 97.3 The Fan to talk with Ben and Woods. We'll break down the game yesterday, his just opening day experiences. I want to know everything from Mike Shildt today, from shaking hands with Bob Melvin during lineup introductions.
I want to hear it all. Does he have like an hour? Can he do the last hour with us?
I would love to just kind of hear everything. Of course, he's got another game to get ready for today.
We were talking about it, I think, off the air yesterday morning, the three of us. Like, it wasn't we didn't know what to call officially yesterday because it wasn't the home opener because, well, they've had a home game. It wasn't the season opener because, well, they've played 2 games. But yesterday really did feel like opening day, did it not?
No question. No question about it. And it had all the pomp and circumstance. And I'll tell you this right now. We were in line to get pizza, and I was doing the thing where I'm panicking because I'm afraid I'm going to miss the first pitch from Shildt. And I'm like, and Hannah's like, just go. And we finally checked out just in time. We ran up behind home plate so we could peer down. And I expected to be emotional because I'm an emotional dude. And when she walked out and she pointed to the PS, well, my eyes welled up with tears. And then when I saw Manny come out to catch it, I was done.
We were standing.
I was done for.
I smacked my wife. Look who's catching it.
I-
Because Manny doesn't catch a ton of those first pitch balls.
No, he's
Maybe
not
ever.
catching like VP of San Diego Credit Union. Here's Manny. He doesn't do that.
But to see him walk out there, I go, oh god.
I had to quick. I was surrounded. There were tier ones to my right, tier ones to my left. When he walked out, I had to put my glasses on because at that point tears were streaming down my face, and I lost it. I lost it when she threw it. I
mean,
just lost it.
We have a lifetime best friend contract with Manny, and I do not expect him to be out there catching our first pitch next week.
I don't
I'll tell you
expect to
that.
see him even in the dugout. They're getting ready for the game.
Let's start, though, just quickly, because you bring up Shildt and the first pitch. I thought the tributes to Peter Seidler yesterday, I don't know that I've ever seen a gathering of that many people, 45,000, have more respect and honor for a person collectively. A moment of silence that was truly like almost completely silent with 45,000 people and the screen going black. The PS carved into the grass, which was amazing. Just seeing it, the players, and how respectful it all was and how well done it was yesterday. I thought even if the game didn't go well, that would have been a special day just because of that. I think it made it a little more special, and I'm sure Peter enjoyed it where he was watching that the Padres did get that win and felt like maybe he had a little bit of something to do with that game yesterday as well.
So I was at the 2-hour celebration of life on Saturday. I wasn't super emotional at all. It was sad. It was moving and powerful, but it didn't really get me in the feels. The second they put his photo up on the board for the moment of silence, I started to tear up.
Yep.
And then, seeing Manny walk out there onto the field,
Got me, man.
started to tear up. And right before all of that happened, they were getting ready to do national anthem, I think. And I looked down. We had pretty good seats yesterday, so I was able to look right down there on the field.
Can't relate.
Got a picture of, I'm going to put it up on the YouTube chat, of Shildt and Alicia Gwynn, and they both had Gwynn and PS on their backs of their jackets. And I was like, man, look. She goes, get a picture of that. She goes,
That is so good.
It was heartbreaking and beautiful all at the same time. I'm like, those are the legends in Padres history now that are no longer with us. But to see them two together right there on the field is like, God, that's emotional.
It's amazing. Yeah, it was, opening day kicks ass all the time. It's for every team. It's like, yes, all right, here we go. The new season is upon us, and the possibilities are endless, and it's great. But it was obviously really, really special yesterday. Fun to be a part of. When we found our brick, we found Peter and Shield's brick, too, and then the one next to theirs is their kids. And I was a wreck out there too. I'm like, oh my God, man.
Oh man.
But listen, you don't want to get too corny, but you do feel there's a presence there. Certainly, I know. My wife talks about it all the time with her dad that passed away. There's a presence always. And in weird times in our life, she is convinced that her dad is a hawk. And he's always around. And it's we'll be somewhere with our kids and we'll have that weird family moment where everything kind of hits you and you're like, this is what life is supposed to be. And you'll look up and there's a hawk soaring above you. It's weird. It happens to us all the time. And our kids now notice it's really cool. So without getting too, spiritual and whatnot, we are definitely, you don't have to sell us on the whole thing. We're all the way in.
Making all the time.
All the time.
We'll be like, Dad, I need a sign.
Yeah.
Give me something. And within a day, whatever it was that
Adam
she was
calls
asking
you
for,
and goes, hey.
Yeah, right.
That's your
Just have your
sign.
gallbladder removed.
Hey.
Hey.
If you're open
Hey,
to
I just got the
signs,
sign
then,
from Adam. He's here. Your dad is here.
Dad's here.
Looks like he's sleeping in today. He's not in the chat, not very active. That's nice. That's nice for him. Our big boss is in Mammoth. He's kicking it
Mr.
up there, snowboarding. So cool. It's cool, guys. Don't worry about us. We'll be here on Good Friday, holding down the fort.
The office closes early. It's Good Friday.
If you're asleep, you're going to miss the Padres wrap-up coming up next. And
That's right.
sucks to be you.
Yeah, sucks to suck,
We'll
everybody.
get to Tony and Jesse's call of the game yesterday and give you our thoughts on the 6-4 win over the San Francisco Giants when we come back with Ben and Wood on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour of 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by your local San Diego County, the UPS store. Your local San Diego County, the UPS store locations are hosting a shred event today and tomorrow, the last 2 days, 50% off shredding services. Visit the upsstore.com for the location nearest you. See store for details. All right, Padres highlights incoming. Our Padres wrap-up with Jesse and Tony, and then we'll break down the game from our perspective right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
One problem we're dealing with right now, it's a car fire on the El Cajon Boulevard on-ramp to northbound 805, so watch out for a little confusion there. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh, my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah! It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else. Yeah!
Give me a do damage.
Do damage!
Downtown San Diego and opening day, sort of the 2024 Major League season. Here this afternoon, the Padres will resume their regular year with a 1-1 record after splitting a pair of games against the Dodgers back in Korea, and they will take on the San Francisco Giants. Darvish with a little bit of a hesitation. Now he deals in a ground ball slowly to second base. Routine for Xander Bogaerts. Down to one knee. The throw to first is in time. And a tidy 1-2-3. Top of the first inning for Yu Darvish. Conforto at second, one out, no score, third inning. 0-2. Here's the pitch. And Ahmed hits it hard on the ground. Fair down the third baseline. That's going to roll for a while and get the first run home for the Giants. Conforto to score. Ahmed into second base. Profar sends it into Kim, an RBI double. And a 1-0 Giant lead in the third. Jurickson Profar stands in, batting left-handed. This is a moment for the manager. Mike Shilt's got all kinds of levers he can pull. And a bouncing ball up the middle into center field, a base hit. That'll tie the game. Machado checks in, and Jurickson Profar, an RBI single. It's 1-1 here in the fifth. 2-2, little tapper up the first baseline, charged by Wade. Only plays to try and tag Wade, and he didn't. He missed him. Kim comes in to score, which was going to happen no matter what. And the Padres go ahead 2-1. 3-2 again to Cronenworth. 2-1 Padres. He is running. The pitch is grounded again up the first baseline. This time a fair ball picked up by Webb with the bare hand. Throw to first. Fernando's trying to get to third. The throw over, not in time. Tatis goes first to third on a number up the first baseline. His first Fernando moment of 2024. Here's the 1-1. Swings grounded to the left side past the dive of Kim into left field and a base hit. Estrada has scored to tie it. Conforto will stop at third base. It is a 2-2 game here in the seventh. Matsui again with a very long pause. Now the pitch, and Lee swings, skies it into center field. Merrill's coming on. He's going to make the catch. And Conforto tagging at third on his way. Merrill's throw to the plate is cut by Cronenworth. Now he'll run Ahmed down between second and third. Flips it up to Kim, who tags him out. And a double play to end the inning. But the Giants have taken the lead 3-2. 2-2 to Jackson Merrill. Luke Jackson ready. Wade runs. The pitch in the dirt. Bailey throws down to second base. Not in time. It kicks away. Camposano's going to come in to score, and the game is tied. Wade ends up at third base, and the Padres force the action. They force a mistake, and it's 3-3. Now the 0-1. Line drive, left center field. Conforto and Lee coming on. Gonna drop down and a base hit. Wade will score to give the Padres the lead. Third hit of the inning. Xander Bogaerts' second hit of the day. An RBI single, and it's 4-3. Here's the 3-1. Cronenworth swings, lines it into right field, and a base hit. Merrill comes in to score. Bogaerts is being waved. He's going to score. Ball ends up at the base of the wall. Cronenworth ends up at second base. A 2-run double and a 6-3 lead here in the seventh. Bailey is 0 for 2 at a sac bunt his last time. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball to the right side. That should do it. Xander's got it. Gets up, throws to first in time, and the ball game is over. Padres win the Petco Park opener by a final of 6-4 as a 4-run seventh inning rally gets the job done against the Giants.
Every situation, we talk about every bat's a situation. Every time you're on the bases, there's a situation, and, no particular order. I mean, Toddy's ball going first to third on the ball crony, top, back to the first base side. That was sexy. That was a fun baseball. I love that.
That man does love some good heads-up baseball. That's for sure.
I mean, we got to isolate that clip here.
Every situation, we talk about every bat's a situation. Every time you're on the bases, there's a situation, and, no particular order. I mean, Toddy's ball going first to third on the ball crony, top, back to the first base side. That was sexy. That was a fun baseball. I love that.
Love him.
He's out of breath there. Mike Shildt, very excited.
That was sexy.
Oh, that was sexy.
I love that.
Sexy win yesterday, certainly. There's a lot of credit that needs to be handed out, certainly the bottom of the order. Getting a lot done yesterday, putting the ball in play, making things happen. A couple guys I was most impressed with yesterday, and it's not just because he was my pick to click yesterday, Ben, which is a bit that we invented here on Ben and Woods. Pick to click, player that's going to have the best game. Luis Campusano deserves a lot of credit for his ABs yesterday. It reminds me of when we had Adam Jones on maybe last year, and he told us about his approach in the big leagues. And I've taken it, and I've thought about it, and it's my favorite thing ever. The first two swings are mine. The last one's for the team. I don't know if you could have seen a better exemplification of that than Luis Campusano's ABs. He's got the big kick. He's trying to do damage with those first two swings. He shortens up so much, puts the ball in play, gets two huge knocks with two strikes. That is the right way to play baseball. Right there. It exemplified by Luis Campusano. He was incredible yesterday in those two huge ABs. The other one, man, how do you not give a shout-out to Jackson Merrill for that massively professional at-bat where he worked a walk late in the game?
My pick to click.
Your pick to click. And I was really impressed with all of it yesterday. The ability to come back a couple of times and win a game, as everybody said, that we almost certainly lose last year.
Let me start with you, Darvish, because he had to at least cancel out Logan Webb.
Yeah.
Who is one of the best pitchers in baseball.
He's nasty.
The ride he was getting on his sinker, cutter, whatever it is.
2 feet. It's a sinker.
It was, 23 inches. So just an inch short of 2 feet. He could throw it at a left-handed batter. Like,
he did.
Throw it like almost behind a left-handed batter.
Right at your hip.
You're going to dive out of the way, and the thing turns and goes right across the inside corner of the plate.
It's nasty, dude.
How do you stay in and take a swing at a strike when it, for all intents and purposes, comes out of his hand, coming right at you, it's going to hit you. And then it goes just like a Bugs Bunny move to the right as it's approaching home plate. Logan Webb, when combined with Blake Snell, going to give the Giants from both sides of the mound two of the nastiest, and it's different. Webb gives up contact, a lot of hard, ground balls, like heavy ground balls.
Heavy ground balls, not hard ground balls.
Yeah, and he'll get a lot of guys looking. You don't necessarily swing and miss a ton. You'll foul off a bunch. You'll pound a bunch into the dirt in front of home plate.
You can't get barrel.
But then Blake is going to get a ton of swing and miss. The other side they're going to be a nasty 1-2 combination for the Giants this season.
And Blake will hump it up to 97. Logan Webb does not. I mean, it's frustrating. And as a fan, you watch and go, why aren't we getting barrel in this guy? And I tweeted yesterday, it looks like we're hitting those weighted balls. Like you hit them and they don't go anywhere. They just into the ground. I mean, everything we got were bleeders and little nubbers, but this team strikes out on those last year. They strike out looking on those pitches last year. They swing and miss at those pitches. They just weren't trying to do too much. I think they went into that game going, we're probably not going to yak a whole bunch of homers off of Webb. We need to get on. We need to put the ball in play. And they did that, and they did it really, really well yesterday.
They did, and they ended up getting 2 runs in 6 innings against Webb. You weren't going to probably score, 9 off of him.
Sure.
So you had to keep the Padres in the game. Started out great, first 2 innings, gave up the 1 run, then bounced back. I thought one of the absolute key moments of the game, with 2 runners on, nobody out, you gets out of the jam, strands runners at second and third, big strikeouts. I got Conforto big strikeout there to get out of the fourth inning. 7 strikeouts, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. That's 2 really good starts to begin the season for you, Darvish. Justifying Mike Shildt's decision to make him the opening day starter twice, essentially, this year for the San Diego Padres. So I wanted to start with the starting pitching. Also have to talk about the bullpen, the good and the bad. Johnny Brito. I saw this take a couple of times on social media as well.
A couple of times. Do you mean a couple of 100 times?
I
was getting DMs about it yesterday.
That the usage of Johnny Brito, and we can ask Mike Shildt about this when he joins us, hasn't made a ton of sense so far.
No.
Based on how they used him in spring training, they were kind of looking at him as a starter, and then all of a sudden they're throwing him in as a 1-inning, high-leverage, 7th-inning type guy, and they did it in Korea. They did it again yesterday, and didn't go well. Now, Johnny Brito wasn't as horrible, I think, as some people were tweeting. He gave up kind of medium singles up the middle that got him in trouble early in the inning, but he wasn't like he was walking everybody and giving up 3-run blasts. You just, it's a close game and you feel tense. So when a guy gives up a couple of hits, you tend to just go, it's terrible. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. But I do think there's some questions about
why
the best usage of the Padres bullpen, and maybe Mike Shildt still has some questions. It's 3 games into the season, and they've got a lot of interchangeable type guys that he's trying to figure out, all right, where am I going to use him? Where is the best place to use this guy? And it might take a little bit to really dial in the best possible combination of his relief arms.
Well, and how about Tom Musgrove coming in looking absolutely filthy and spinning it up there, struck out 2 in his inning of work. And, of course, Yuki Matsui.
That to me, that's key.
20 pitches, 5 outs on 20 pitches, man. He was incredible.
He's been the workhorse so far out of the bullpen, first in Korea, and now an inning and 2/3 yesterday, and he's looked really sharp. And you wonder, will there be an adjustment period coming over from Japan? Looked good in spring, but spring is different than the regular season. So far, so good for Yuki Matsui, who ended up getting the win, very deservedly so, with what he did coming into the bullpen. I thought smart baseball as well when the Giants, the inning they actually took the lead, and you had the single to Merrill up the middle, and you had that decision. Do you let the ball go to home plate for what was going to be a close play, but probably unlikely that you were going to get the runner at home?
No, you take that out.
Or do you take that out?
Yeah.
And keep it? Okay, it's a 1-run game.
Yeah, 1-run game. Because you don't want to give up a big inning there.
And that's important because obviously the Padres then rallied back from just down 1 run. If you try to get the runner at home and all of a sudden Giants get another hit or 2, score another run or 2, now you're down 2 or 3 runs, that's a big mountain to climb. But they kept it at a little mountain, little hill.
Take that out, man.
And they took the out to get out of the inning, and it ended up – it shows some confidence that last year's team didn't have. Last year's team didn't have the confidence to come back from 1 run down.
At all.
We better not let this run in because we know we're not going to score again, so we have to get this runner at the plate. It was a very calm, very rational, measured baseball decision. Like, let's play to fight another day. We still have 3 at-bats to score some runs. Let's get out of this inning, let them take the lead, and see if we can strike back right away. And then they did in the bottom of the 7th inning, which obviously was something we didn't see the Padres do very much of last year.
I love that.
No, yeah, I love it too.
That was sexy.
It was sexy. And I'm going to ask you about all that sexiness coming up at 9 o'clock when you join the program. I can't wait to talk to him, man. So happy it was after an opening day win. There was a lot to like yesterday. And listen, we've been talking about, too, we need some things to go our way. The bloop's got to drop, and some of the balls got to find some holes, and I think they did that yesterday. They also didn't go into a death spiral after Tyler Wade was incorrectly called out when he was clearly safe. And so I didn't know the rule on the baseline. When you're running down the line, you have to stay in a certain path, but you can deviate. What's the rule?
3 feet.
3 feet, okay? Bro, 3 inches is maybe all he deviated from that. And the Lamont Wade whiffed on the tag, did not get him. And they called him out, and they called him out of the baseline.
Could have been a huge inning.
It could have been a huge inning.
They took the lead, but it could have been an absolute huge inning.
Yeah.
And my thought on that, I don't know how Major League Baseball tells the umpires necessarily to rule on those plays.
Yeah.
And maybe they got it right the way MLB wants them to call it. But it's a tag play. So what what is essentially the essence of tag? It comes from the children's game, tag, where you actually have to touch the guy, and they are what? Trying to avoid
the tag.
being touched. That to me, that's an integral part of the game. Now, you can't just let the runner run off in 90-degree directions all over the place.
Like T-ballers that run into the dugout and around?
That would be funny.
The
That would
rule
be
is
really
in
good.
place. You can't just take, I'm going to run out to right field and come around into the infield. You have to generally go in a somewhat straight line, but don't take the fun part out of the game. It's a tag play. You want the runner to try to dodge. If that's how they're going to rule it, you might as well just walk and just accept being tagged every time. Do you want them to do that, or do you want them to have a little fun and see if they can get around it? And if they're only going a foot or so around, to try to dodge as they're going by, that's a fun part of the game. Don't take that out of baseball. That's tag. You're playing tag. That's fun to see as a fan.
And I liked, it was nice to see the skipper come out, show a little fire yesterday, and argue in defense of his player. You saw, you didn't see it I was watching it on TV at the time, but Tyler Wade came down in the dugout, and he was pretty hot. Shildt went over, put his hand on his shoulder, and was like, don't worry about it, man. Keep making contact. But, guys, it was, look, if you're going to parse out some of the bad things from yesterday, there was still that come on, guys, sacrifice fly, get this ball in the air. Look, it's Logan Webb, man. You cannot lift the ball. Bogart, somebody made a point in the chat. Bogarts thought he barreled one and almost started to pimp it, and it was like a little flare into left field, drove in a run. But, all in all, man, to be able to come back twice, it's just not something we're used to seeing at all from this team in the last year.
And look, the turd losses are coming.
Oh, 100%.
They're going to be there
They'll be
at
there.
some point. But so far, through 3 games, I've seen a lot of fight out of the Padres.
No question.
And I love to see it early in the season. I want it to continue all season long, whether it was the 2 games in Korea against the Dodgers or yesterday, chippy game against the Giants, back and forth, and to see them never quit and keep fighting and keep scoring runs and scratching across runs. I loved it.
And the base running, too, I thought. Fernando Tatis Jr., got to give some credit to him. He wore Matt Chapman's knee right to the face, taking that extra base. It's those are the things that maybe we just aren't used to seeing anymore.
A pin drop in the stadium
from this team. Yeah, please get up.
Please get up.
It was a great win, and it wasn't the prettiest, and they weren't hitting. If you conversely flipped over to the Dodgers game and saw how they were winning their game, yeah, it's a Mookie Betts home run. I mean, we weren't getting that. This was a little bit more scrappy. It was a lot more scrappy. It was a lot more heady. Like you said, the cutoff play, Ben, I thought was really, really smart to keep from getting a big inning going. So I really liked what I saw yesterday. Would love to see some more of it tonight.
There was one criticism of Mike Shildt that I kind of disagreed with. I saw some people thinking he went to his defensive replacement, Jose Azocar, too early.
So I thought maybe the same thing.
And then Azocar came up, later in a situation where he could have driven him some runs. He didn't. He struck out.
Three pitches.
And probably going to get blocked here by Jurickson. But what are we doing here? I mean, it's not like they took out Fernando Tatis Jr. for Jose Azocar. Jose Azocar had a good spring. Jurickson had a decent one. I know he drove in the run in the first run of the game for the Padres, but doesn't mean that he's going to come through every single time.
Well, I get it, but
to me,
so you pinch ran him,
yeah,
and you had him at
you
third,
get some speed,
and
out
he gets
there.
thrown out on the contact play at home. So it feels a little bit kind
he
of
didn't
like
do anything wrong.
No,
he was supposed to go.
No,
he made it close.
Same thing would have happened to him.
Exactly.
Had to make him a really good play to get him out, which they did.
Here's the deal: we sat in here and lamented some of Bob Melvin's moves because we always kind of felt like, and he earned the nickname here, Sleepy Bob. I never called him Sleepy Bob. Mike Shildt is the opposite of that. He's aggressive Shildt. He's going to make strong moves. We've been praying for a guy that's going to make
pulling a lot of strings,
strong decisions, right?
He's playing the harp. He's pulling so many strings.
He's making do with what he has right now. So look, it all worked out. I'm not going to complain about it, but it's an interesting question.
2 hours away from Mike Shildt joining us for the first Managers Report here in the season. Looking forward to that. We'll come back, play a little Take on Woods. Hour number 2 of Ben and Woods next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. One other Padres note saw in Dennis Lynn's recap in The Athletic that, and take this for what it's worth, but it's been discussed by the Padres front office, which means, A.J. Preller and his scouts, the idea of a reunion with Taylor Trammell, which we discussed yesterday, that he had been designated for assignment by the Seattle Mariners. One of the top prospects from the Padres system, was used to acquire Austin Nola and others in a very ill-fated trade. Never was able to hit on the big league level, though.
Was Trammell to Seattle, or did he go to Cleveland
No,
first?
he went to Seattle.
Seattle?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was part of he was part of the Munez.
Yeah.
He was
Maybe.
we got him, I think,
I'm gonna look.
from Cleveland. And then we flipped him to Seattle after a season.
The Reds traded Trammell to the Padres in a 3-team trade.
Ohio, somewhere in Ohio.
Doesn't really matter.
And then he went with France, Munoz, Torrens to Seattle for Nola, Altavilla.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't.
Austin
I don't know. I mean, what's you already have Jose Azocar as a light hitting outfielder. Like, what do you need another light hitting outfielder?
It's funny because
who's the next one up if somebody got hurt? Who's in AAA? Who's the next outfielder? Marcy.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you bring him in on a minor league deal.
Yeah, he's not coming up right away. You cannot count on Taylor Trammell on the big league roster right now. He just hasn't hit on the big league level. But my point here is that as clinical as A.J. Preller seems, and he's as unafraid to trade his own best prospects, and you think, God, how does this guy put so much time and effort into scouting, signing, developing guys, and then just heartlessly sends them off, to help his bullpen right before the start of a season? But he truly does fall in love with these guys, because who has he brought back already? Aniel De Los Santos was a Padres prospect. They tried Luis Patino during spring training. If there's a chance to get these guys back at some point,
he'll do it. Now
Taylor Trammell, he will do it because he does love his guys. Yeah. He does love them, but he realizes at some point I got to let them go because I can't develop them all. I can't bring them all to the big leagues. So he ends up trading them. But you feel like he never stops loving them and kind of has his eye on them even after they go off to other organizations, and wonders, someday maybe we'll get that guy back at some point.
Could he possibly fall back in love with Andres Munoz and bring him back into the fold?
That would be
one. That would be one that I would be very interested in.
Doubt he's available.
In bringing back. I'm sure he's still madly in love with him.
Got another AJ story for you. First, though, I would like to solicit a call for a Take on Woods contestant. If you want to try to qualify, we're getting near the end of the month. I don't know if this is the last day that you can qualify for the trip to the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, but if it is, you want to get in today. 833-288-0973. Our musical trivia challenge is just ahead in a couple of minutes. The lines are open right now, though, so if you want to get in, haven't played before, haven't gotten in this month, 833-288-0973.
Last one for March.
So it was, I think, around the fourth or fifth inning of the game, and I had coffee and some water, and I had to go use the press box restroom yesterday.
Yeah.
And I walk, it's in between innings, and as I'm walking toward the press box restroom, I have to walk past the general manager's booth. And as I'm walking past, A.J. Preller walks out.
Good morning, guys.
And where is A.J. headed? He follows right. I say, hey, AJ, how are you? Follows right behind me and follows me into the restroom.
Whoa.
And then we end up right next to each other at the urinals in the restroom.
All right. Who took the tall one and who took the small one?
We actually took the two tall ones, and the small one was already occupied to our left.
So it was Joe Davis was using the small one.
Side by side. And I'm not one for conversation in the bathroom. But I just wanted to say to him, I said, don't you have a private restroom in there? They don't give the GM his own bathroom?
Nice penis, I thought is what you said you were going to say.
Man, this water's cold.
And deep.
And he said, no, I do, but we got a lot of people in there, and there's like a line. So he just came out and with the mingling with the commoners and the media to use the restroom. And now I've already said something, so I said, and I did want to.
Oh, you kept it going.
I did want to let you know.
All while you're literally.
I did want to let you know that you did a phenomenal job at the Peter Seidler Celebration of Life on Saturday. It was a fantastic story.
He's like, yeah, I got your text, dummy.
You
While
knocked
you're
it
both
out of the
holding
park.
your junk.
Yeah, you're holding your wiener. Hey, really, really nice job there talking about
But-
Peter. That was really good.
Of course, I'm kind of nervous because he's right there, so I'm sitting. I can't really get going.
Oh my God.
So then he wraps up and he's gone, and I'm just kind of still standing there and going, now I feel really weird because I still haven't even really started yet, and he's already done. So that was kind of an awkward moment as
And
well.
not only that, yes, he's already done. He's
Yeah.
finished, and you're still standing there like a weirdo.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've also had a full conversation
Yeah,
with
I
him.
Yeah.
Did he? Thanks. Did he just give you like
no,
a?
No, he said
thank
he
you.
Gave me a thank you. Yeah.
Man.
I
He
have
doesn't.
chills.
He doesn't mean to be awkward and uncomfortable. It's just in his nature. It's just who he is as
I
a
know.
person.
Yeah.
You do like an empty bathroom.
I do. Well, it's just more for my own safety and security for the most part.
He hates when I come into the bathroom with him because I'll talk to him the whole time.
Yeah.
because I know it makes.
You'll specifically wait until he goes. To the bathroom and you're like, oh, Paulie, watch this.
I actually time, so I look at our rundown that Paulie gives us, and I try to find when does Woods have to do like a QC kinetics spot, and I know, okay, I can run to the bathroom because he's occupied for a minute when I don't have to be here, so I can go when I know he can't join me in there.
I love to follow him.
He's
in.
very aggressive.
Yeah, I love to follow him in. Yeah, Johnny says, Ben, you're an all-timer. That's exactly right. Like he's just an all. It's just an all-timer. This is what we get to work with every day. Hey, how you doing? I'm going to make a weird comment about your private bathroom, which is weird in and of itself. Hey, you're out here peeing with the regular folk.
I'm not proud of myself. I'm really not.
Anyway,
it's not even the regular folk. It's the press box bathroom.
Yes.
Ben wouldn't be caught dead in
You
the
wouldn't
main
be caught in the
concourse
main
bathroom.
I'm sure there's, I'm sure some fans, Padres fans, tier ones, have had encounters with AJ before.
many people have.
He makes people nervous, doesn't he?
He does.
I'm
He
not
makes
the
me
only
nervous.
one, right?
No,
he makes me nervous.
He makes me so uncomfortable.
It's not his job to keep us at ease.
No,
That's
it's
far
not.
from what his job is, but tell you what, he just makes me nervous. So I get kind of stammery around him and like, what do I say? What do I not say?
Oh,
I mean, I can't ignore him. Like, that would be rude. I can't just say nothing, but
That would be such a power move, though.
It is. I know he hates me. Like I know it. I know it in my heart that he loathes me.
I don't know that he does.
He
though.
does. He does.
I just
I know
feel
it.
like that's just kind of everyone probably feels a little bit that way.
About
just
me?
'cause
Yeah, I know.
No, not
I
about
get
you.
it.
Probably hates
About
you.
that everyone thinks AJ hates them just because he just makes you a little bit nervous.
Yeah, somebody said I'd be more intimidated in the bathroom with Scan. Yeah, because he can see over the partition and see what you're working with. I mean,
starts
easily.
laughing at you.
Oh wow, cold in here, huh? Yeah, Scan is an intimidating fellow as well. But yeah, well, I'm glad that you had that interaction because
Yeah,
I didn't know about
C20
that.
Brando says AJ is chill. It's not him. It's you. Yes, I know. I understand. This is entirely me. AJ has always been quite friendly, quite polite. He's never said a nasty word about any of us ever,
As far as you know.
As far as I know,
Yeah.
and that's all that really is important.
It's true.
It's the as far as you know is always important.
It's true.
So.
That is true.
Now we still need a contestant for Take on Woods. Now it's time. So 833-288-0973. Call in. We will be playing. Do not go anywhere. We don't have a contestant yet. So sit down.
I was going to go to the bathroom.
Go ahead. Go into the bathroom. Hannah, would you like to be our contestant today on Take on Woods?
Please let me wax you on the air.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Will you do it?
Yeah.
All right, let's
Oh,
play. Let's do it.
perfect. Hell yeah.
Very
Well,
nice. I don't know about the legality of being eligible for the prize as the spouse of an employee.
If
but
Hannah wins, she will
you'll
donate
play
it
for
to a
someone.
listener.
Yeah. So if Hannah wins, you'll call in and you'll qualify for our trip to two to the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, $150 dinner credit. You can book your reservations now at FontainebleauLasVegas.com. Oh, now you're all calling in. Now Hannah's
Too
our
bad.
contestant.
You
Too
lost.
late.
You lost your chance.
All right, so Hannah, here are your categories today.
Okay.
We got Sunshine Through the Decades. That's a all 2-second song category. So it's identifying music snippets with sunshine in the title.
Okay.
Chow time, which is the word eat, is in all of the answers. And we've got a hard category, which is about the word hard appears in all of the song titles there. So sunshine through the decades, chow time, or a hard category. What's it going to be? What are you saying? What? What is he saying?
I don't know what you're saying.
Come back. We haven't started yet. What are you saying?
Am I playing against her?
Yeah.
Yes.
She has to close the chat then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Close the chat. Good
Because
All
they
right,
will
all
help
right,
you
all
out.
right.
All right.
Yeah, well, they're not very smart.
Let me minimize.
All right. Hide. All right. She hasn't even picked her
Crushing it.
category yet.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Wait for the door.
Let the door close. Soundproofing. Okay, here we go.
Let's go hard category.
A hard category. Okay,
That's easy.
so this is literally a hard category, as all 5 song titles include the word hard. 60 seconds. Answer as many of the 5 as you can. You can say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock.
Okay.
First questions are 2-second song. You need to give me the song title, including the word hard, and the artist to score that point.
Okay.
Hannah, are you ready to play?
Ready as all.
Paul, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. In a hard category, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Hannah. Let's take on Woods.
Hard to handle. Black Crows.
Yes, correct. Which Beatles song also provides the title?
Hard Day's Night.
Correct. Jay-Z samples from the musical Annie.
Hard Knock Life.
Correct. An exhausted Hollywood ladies' restroom attendant, and you better treat her right, inspired Donna Summer to write which 1983 hit?
Pass.
Chicago backs off the horns and ramps up Peter Cetera in which 1983 hit ballad that reached #1 on the Billboard charts?
Pass.
All right, go back to an exhausted Hollywood ladies' restroom attendant, and you better treat her right, inspired Donna Summer to write which 1983 hit? You can get this one.
Hard-working lady.
Good try. Chicago backs off the horns and ramps up Peter Cetera in which 1983 hit ballad that reached #1 on the Billboard charts?
I don't know.
That's it. That's the last one.
Okay.
Chat had them both for you. Donna Summer, she works hard for the money, and you better treat her right. Chicago, that's a tough one. That's hard to say. I'm sorry. Know it if you hear it, but
Crush those first 3.
Yeah, you
Okay.
really nailed those first 3. So 3 is the
5.
score.
I can't
Let's
believe I
bring
didn't get
back
Donna.
hubby and see if he can match that or beat it. He does not get the category. Hannah's score is now locked in.
Okay.
All right, let's put 60 seconds back on the clock.
Winner gets intercourse.
So does the loser, though, in that case.
Just not with the winner.
Right.
Oh, my God. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Hannah.
That is Hard to Handle by the Black Crows.
Correct. Which Beatles song also provides the title for the group's 3rd album and first feature film?
Hard Day's Night.
Correct. Jay-Z samples from the musical Annie for the ghetto anthem version of which...
Hard Knock Life.
Correct. An exhausted Hollywood ladies' room attendant, and you better treat her right, inspired Donna Summer to write which 1983 hit?
She works hard for the money.
Correct. Chicago backs off the horns and ramps up Peter Cetera in which 1983 hit ballad that reached #1.
Hard Habit to Break.
No, it's hard to say I'm sorry, which means Woods still wins 4-3, but
Yes.
it was a good game today of Take on Woods. Hannah, you did she
That's what I
nailed the
learned.
first 3, but fell short on the last 2.
I know. I'm disappointed.
Sorry about it. I don't think we have to pick the kids up for a few hours, so should be a lovely little Friday
Mom will be home right after the show.
afternoon. Yeah. Yes.
All right, let's
real good.
Let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back with Don't Do This. And I hate to do it because he is our best friend forever. But Manny Machado is getting to Don't Do This for me.
He's getting worn out nationally today. Holy cow.
For what happened to the game yesterday. That is coming up next after a check of traffic with Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan.
Nice job, though.
Don't forget, you can listen to Sam Levitt's podcast, Inside San Diego Baseball. Sam is covering everything going on with the Padres. You can find it at 973thefansd.com, the Odyssey app, or wherever you get your podcast. And we'll start with a Padres-related Don't Do This from yesterday's game.
Yeah, it was the sixth inning yesterday, and Fernando Tatis Jr., we talked about that play where he went first to third. And
the sexiest play of the game, according to Mike Shildt.
That's exactly right, and ended up wearing a Matt Chapman knee to the head. And
that was not sexy.
Everyone had to come out and talk to him, and he was fine. He stayed in the game. So Manny Machado comes up, runner on third, less than 2 outs. What do we need from you, our cleanup hitter? We need a lazy fly ball to the outfield. It's going to score Tatis, no problem. Well, Manny gets jammed.
But really, even a grounder oftentimes will score Tatis as well.
100%.
He's the easiest guy to bring in from third in baseball.
Something to the right side, on the ground, or, something deep in the outfield.
Medium deep
depth.
in the air, even fairly shallow can score Tatis. He scored on a pop-up to the infield before if the infielder's going the wrong way.
Manny gets fisted by the pitch, fights it off, and just hits
Fister? Yeah, absolutely.
And just hits a nice little, just a little duck fart out to the second baseman who catches it.
Score
off the
on
bat.
that
You're like, that could drop. Nope.
Yeah, just a little duck fart caught in the infield. And didn't get the job done, and was not happy about it. And as he was walking back to the bench, took the bat and attempted to break the bat over his knee.
I think he cracked the bat on the swing.
On that,
I think he assumed it was already broken, so it was going to just snap nice and easily.
When we were little kids, and we saw Bo Jackson do this for the first time, I don't know of a kid on my block that didn't try. At least he's like, hey, just see what it feels like. Then the one Bo did where he put it on his head and snapped it over his head. You're like, bro, there is just no way. That thing would have to be hanging by a tiny shred for me to be able to do it. But it bounced off. I don't think it broke that bat because it bounced off his quad. And it couldn't have felt good. And he looked a little ridiculous.
You've seen
when he did it. I love you so much.
The
I'm
martial
so sorry,
artists who will take bricks or
Yeah.
cinder blocks and they'll just chop them in half with their bare hands. I have no idea how that's even possible.
And the feet, they kick them and stuff like that.
Yeah, board like 7 boards and go right through them. It's unbelievable.
I hope he doesn't have a deep bone bruise now because of that.
Well, that's the don't do this.
Yeah.
If you don't snap it, you have the potential of causing yourself some bodily harm.
I know.
By taking a bat over your knee. So, hey, I always hate to do it, but Manny gets a DDT. I'm going to throw a don't do this to UConn head basketball coach Dan Hurley, who seemingly can do just about nothing wrong. He's won 9 straight NCAA tournament games, all by double digits. This year's 3 wins are by an average of 28 points they took care of the Aztecs by 30 yesterday. And obviously, the team is talented. They work hard. He's a good coach. They've got a great offense. But one of the things that he credits UConn's success to is his superstitions. And he must wear the same clothes for every single tournament game, which is fine, except for the fact that in the NCAA tournament, of course, you play twice per weekend on the road. So when he wears an outfit on Thursday, he's got to wear it again on Saturday. So he's not putting dirty clothes back on. Here's what he does. His wife travels with him on the road, and she has to bring a hand washer, which I'm not even sure what a hand clothes washer is. It's like a
the old scrub boards, washboards,
a washboard and a bucket.
You do?
And
you have what?
For the kids.
Underwear washboards for the kids.
And she has to, in the hotel room on the road, wash his clothes, including his used underwear, because he's got to wear the exact
Is that the misogyny
same
bell?
pair. And I'm not mad about superstitions. Most of them are harmless. Don't walk on the lines as you're going onto the baseball field.
Root beer barrels,
when
right.
your superstitions now involve someone else going out of their way, bringing extra equipment on the road, and spending time that they could be, enjoying the hotel spa or pool or something, but instead you have to hand wash garments on the road. That's a superstition that you can just do without. And if you want to do it yourself, fine. But you're impacting now your wife, and she must be a saint because she is happy to do it for him. Says anything that I can do to help the team. She should not have to hand wash his unmentionables on the road. just because he's superstitious about it.
I can hear my wife next to me seething. I can hear her seething through
Disgusting.
It's
He
disgusting.
deserves to lose for that.
He does. He's probably not going to.
UConn should go down.
Holy cow. All right, this is I kicked this around. I don't know if this is a don't or a do this. Maybe a little bit of a combo, but we could talk about it certainly.
DD mega doo-doo.
So I saw Patrick Mahomes is now distancing himself from Diddy. P. Diddy, formerly P. Diddy. What's his real name? Sean Puffy Combs. Then he was
Puff Daddy.
Puff Daddy. Then P.
Diddy.
Now
Then
just
Diddy.
Diddy. Several iterations of his name. Well, he's under a lot of scrutiny, and his home was raided. And again,
2 homes.
I haven't gone into the rabbit hole yet. I'm planning on it this weekend. But I heard there's a report out that is jarring when you read it. So I'm going to read it in its entirety because I like to do things like that. And it has to do with sexual sex trafficking and urination and all kinds of weird,
Not good.
weird things. So Patrick Mahomes was a fan. It was 2014. So you're talking 10 years ago. He's gone back and deleted all his old tweets to Diddy that were basically harmless, like, hell yeah, P. Diddy, and happy birthday, P. Diddy, #fam. So they were
I mean, that's just a
apparently
weird thing to tweet in general.
The hashtag kills.
#fam. So he's gone back and
Even
deleted.
somebody that's not like being arrested or having their home raided, like happy birthday, Jack Harlow. Like that's just a weird thing to tweet.
Well, so
Clout chasing.
listen, it's not like Patrick Mahomes did it 3 days ago. It's like, hell yeah, Diddy, keep up the good fight. He
would
just
be
went.
bad.
He had something, and he doesn't run his own Twitter. Somebody went back and like, hey,
Someone's got some awareness here.
we probably shouldn't have you, lauding Diddy in public.
I think it's a do this.
It's a
I think so. It's smart.
Clean up.
Completely harmless
in the
10
modern
years ago.
in the
Sure.
modern day. It's smart. I mean, did you go back and scrub all your positive Eric Hosmer tweets or not? When he was first
Eric
No,
Hosmer
I never
is not a sexual criminal.
Well, yeah, he's not
Also
a demon.
true.
He's just a ground ball merchant. So you can't be arrested for hitting the ball hard on the ground. If you
Hashtag I
could,
condone everything you do.
if you could, he
Eric
would
Hosmer's
be.
Miami home has been raided.
He would be in prison. He would
Grounded
be
out
in
to second base again.
He would be in prison for life if you could get arrested for being a ground ball merchant. He would be doing life in prison. But no, I never have scrubbed my Eric Hosmer tweets. I've scrubbed some tweets before, certainly.
I mean, look, we all, at one point, most of us listened to an R. Kelly song.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're like, I'm out. I can't do this anymore.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
We heard Michael Jackson in one of the
They still
chariots yesterday, and
Yeah.
it felt icky.
It feels weird.
It feels
and so
weird.
I think this is a sign of growth for Patrick Mahomes.
There you
Going,
go.
look, I don't want any connection with this guy. I'm backing out. I'm just going to
Good,
delete
smart.
his tweets.
So ultimately, Patrick Mahomes has already been famous for a long time, so people have seen his entire gamut of tweets that he's ever sent. The people who really need to do this, who need to go back through their Twitter accounts, if you're about to be drafted
Correct.
in the NFL or NBA or Major League Baseball,
they
and no one
already
knows
seen it.
who you are.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the scouts, they've done their research, but the fans haven't yet.
Oh.
Well, maybe some have, but you should, before you really hit the big time, like junior year of college, just go ahead, go have someone go through your Twitter account before you really hit the public stage.
Yeah,
and
'cause
then
you
no
will
one
be
ever
judged
know.
on that,
No
for
one
sure.
will ever know what you tweeted at that
Yeah.
point.
I'm going to go see if I have any Diddy tweets. I
That's-
doubt I do.
That's a
Picture-
don't.
I can't picture like a really
don't either.
like bad Patrick Mahomes tweet from when he was in high school.
I
or
can't
something.
either.
I just imagine him like, so do y'all like Cheez-Its or
Yeah.
I love Mickey D's, man. I love it. I love Mickey D's. I can't get enough.
Wheat Thins or Cheez-Its?
Do and don't and sort of do this for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we will. I just threw Dan Hurley under the bus. I'm going to say something nice about him when we come back as
Yeah.
well. Talk a little bit about that Aztecs loss, and then we can put a bow on the college basketball season in San Diego for 2024. Coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So you got a note, Ben, about the portable washers.
Yeah, in our chat, Steven said, "Hey, Ben and Woods and Paulie, it's 2024, and they have portable small electric washers for clothes. No washboard or bucket needed."
Yeah, I think we were doing that part tongue-in-cheek as far as the washboard goes, but they do make little...
I'm looking right now on
little...
Amazon. Yeah, they have little...
How big are they? At least
They
for
look like a little bucket.
And it like swirls around and stuff.
Sure.
Imagine Mrs. Hurley like, I gotta get this bucket and bring this.
Is it hand? It's not hand cranked either. It's absolutely fully electric.
Wait, what are we talking about?
The bucket.
Washers.
The washers.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
The other part of this is, if you missed it, don't do this. We're talking about Dan Hurley making his wife hand wash his underwear on the road. He also, I'm assuming, as the head coach at UConn, is making several $1 million a year and staying at a fairly nice hotel that all you have to do is call laundry services.
So you say that. When my lovely wife and I went to Paris on...
Ben, you can see it. It's like a little bucket, and you just fill it up with water. It's got a little motor, and it just kind of
swirls it around.
Churns, and
9 liters of water, and it's good for underwear. And
so a couple things. There's a couple observations. What are you doing to these underwear that you can't just run them under the hot water, wring them out, and hang them up? Or like a little hand
doesn't do anything.
That's not the angle to take.
Is he just walking around just like
sweating? I mean, you're up and you're a sweaty college basketball coach. You're
throw it in the sink, wring it out, and rinse it, call it a day. When we went to Paris for our honeymoon, remember this? I didn't pack enough clothes, so we stayed in one of the nicest hotels, maybe in the world, in Paris. And I said, well, it's fine. I'm going to throw some stuff. I'm going to do some laundry, ask them to do some laundry for me. I'll get my clothes back. Took 4 days. 4 days. 4 days. The day we're leaving. Sir, we have all of your clothes. I'm like, what? Where have these been? Where did you send these to Denmark to get them done? 4 days later.
Yeah.
So I get it, I guess, of your superstition, but it's not as easy as just doing the old hotel laundry service. This apparently is much easier.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Celebrate and save at Ashley's anniversary sale with Hot Buys. Your choice of colors starting at just $399. Ashley sleep mattresses starting at $250, plus receive a free adjustable base with select mattress purchases only at Ashley. Check traffic. We'll come back. We'll talk about the Aztecs getting blown out by UConn in the Sweet 16 last night. Next on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive to Oil Change, your 15-minute instant drive to oil change. That northbound side of the 805 still trying to recover from that earlier car fire at El Cajon Boulevard, but now there's a crash right at the 15. Fortunately, not blocking lanes. It's over to the right shoulder. South 5 Coastline, right before Poinsettia, we have reports of a stalled pickup truck now over to the right shoulder. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is your drive-through oil change. It only takes 15 minutes, and you don't have to get out of your car. With all the rain lately, Valvoline is also offering replacement wiper blades. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com, SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So as I said earlier, I wasn't able to totally lock in on the Aztecs game with my post-game Padres coverage on Channel 10 last night. My plan was, I can always go back and watch it a little bit later in the evening. It's recorded. You're not going to go back and watch a 30-point loss. So kind of have to rely a little bit on Woods for some of the analysis here.
This dude texted me last night and put me in the most panic I've ever been. I go, man, if the Aztecs could make a bucket, this is still pretty early in the first. There was one point they had like 4 putbacks right under the rim, uncontested, and then they just wouldn't fall. And it made me insane. I'm like, oh my God. It almost looked like there was a spring in the basket kicking the ball up, and it just didn't feel like it was going to be there.
First 10, 15 minutes or so.
Solid,
solid. The Aztecs scored first, which they hadn't done often. UConn's first deficit of the tournament. And then I think first media timeout or so, they were up 10-9 with UConn going to the free throw line. And then even 15 minutes in, Micah Parrish hit a 3 in the corner and had cut the lead back to 5, and down 5 is critical. And then I did see at the end of the half, pretty critical sequence where the Aztecs were down 6, and Darion Trammell had a wide open 3, chance to make it a 3-point game, and he missed it. And at the other end, UConn hit a 3. So instead of 3-point game at the half, it's a 9-point game at the half, and that is a I mean, it's not insurmountable, but that's a huge difference knowing not only do you have to beat UConn in the second half, maybe the toughest college basketball team we've seen in a few years or many years in college basketball. Now you got to beat them by 10 in the second half. You don't have to beat them by 3. You got to beat them by 10. That's a huge mountain to climb. And then when things in the second half just kind of started getting off to a bad start, at that point, they started chucking up threes, which is the only way you can get back into a game like that. I'm not going like, oh, that was a bad game plan, that they started just throwing up wild three-pointers. It made the game ugly, to be sure, but it's your only hope that your miracles start falling and, wow, we just made 7 off-balance threes in a row, and now we're within 2 points again. It's an unlikely strategy, but it's your only chance once you get down that big to UConn. So I wasn't mad about really any of it. The better team won. They're the better team against just about everybody in college basketball. I can't promise you they'll win the tournament, but I certainly think they're going to. And it's no shame to lose by 10, 20, or even 30 to this UConn team this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, so when I texted Ben, I said, man, if they could make a layup, they'd be right back in this thing. And Ben goes, hey, I actually can't watch much of the game. I need you to be the Aztecs analyst tomorrow. I go, what? Me?
Are you crazy?
I like watching and enjoying the game. And I will say this. I meant to tweet this last night, and I totally forgot. I thoroughly enjoyed watching this basketball team. And we've, as a family, I think, watched more Aztecs basketball we watched, obviously, all the tournament last year. That was incredible. But regular season, we've watched a ton. Bo is way into it now. Like, we were really, really into it. My wife's Aztec for life. So I thoroughly enjoyed watching these guys play. I really did. I love Brian Dutcher. I love everything about that program. And I don't think you can take away one single thing. Another Sweet 16. Let's not be the city that gets mad when we don't go to the championship every year. Making the Sweet 16 is
I got you, Ben.
It's a very big deal. And so you got out, and really though, Benny, the rebounding is what murdered.
Oh, they got out
them.
rebounded 50 to 29.
29.
21 offensive boards. And, that's a big team. It was something that plagued the Aztecs most of the season, though, was rebounding was an issue. Once they lost Nathan Mensah and Agueka Rope last year, Ledee is a great player. He's not defensively what some of those guys are. He had 8 rebounds, but only 2 of them were defensive rebounds. He had 6 offensive rebounds, but 2 defensive rebounds, not enough to keep UConn off the glass on their offensive end.
I think 4 of them came on the missed putbacks.
Yeah, that's true, too.
I really think so.
Some of them are racked up with no purpose whatsoever.
Missed it. There's 4.
At least, though, offensively, at least, Jaden Ledee should go down, I think, as he's an all-first-team San Diego State player ever. Like, he was so much fun to watch. He was
incredible.
A beast. He was the heart and soul of this team this year, and it was so fun to watch.
I'm excited to see what he does on the next level.
Me too,
because
very much so.
While he certainly has more of his game to develop, he does have the ability to play inside, mid-range, and he shot like 40% from three-point range. And we saw Kawhi go to the NBA I don't think with anywhere near the offensive game that Jaden Ledee had. Now, Kawhi was a much better defender, and that made him a regular right away and gave him the opportunity to play in the NBA, whereas Jaden's going to maybe have to step up on that end if he wants regular playing time, because I can see an NBA coach going, I can dream on this guy, but he's got to be able to stand on his own against NBA-type offensive players. But you certainly, with that body, that build, and that nice touch and skill, see him succeeding on the next level.
When you look at, and I saw, like, our buddy Ryan Phillips, that dude is a college basketball junkie. And I mean a junkie.
Yes.
He tweeted something last night, and, I wouldn't tweet it because I don't want to sound ignorant, but he said, look, I love Coach Dutcher. I love the defensive mindset that this team has. It suffocates teams. But when you run up against the UConn, they're a perfect example of a team that you can do both. They're just excellent defensively, and they're excellent offensively. In your opinion, do you think Dutch needs to find somebody that is more of an offensive mind and maybe try to recruit more offensive players? Because that was really the bugaboo for this team all year. They just couldn't score. They didn't shoot it all that well.
Honestly, it sounds good. I wouldn't change a thing about what I'm doing if I'm Brian Dutcher. The reason he gets, I think, such good players at San Diego State, especially the best defensive players, is they know they have the freedom to fail on offense, and some of them do, but they're not going to get pulled out of the game for a bad shot like some coaches do. And it's always going to limit San Diego State a little bit offensively, but you will consistently be good when you are good defensively like San Diego State is. They won't be the flash in the pan that Loyola or Butler or some of those other teams are, because defense never slumps, really. Like in baseball, he never goes into a slump defensively. So I don't think he should really make a lot of changes. Honestly, who wouldn't want to send their kid to play for Brian Dutcher? When you hear what he told his team after the game, and there weren't a huge amount of tears. I think they were proud of what they accomplished this year. But listen to this just perspective from Brian Dutcher upon the exit from the NCAA tournament.
Hang on.
That is good.
Sorry.
That's deep.
I was working on something. Here we go.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like Brian Dutcher. I like his
First of all,
comments.
congratulations to UConn and Coach Hurley. We wish them the best of luck moving forward. They're an outstanding team and will be very dangerous down the road. With that being said, I want to say it's not the ending we're going to remember, it's the journey, because the journey's everything, and we've been on an incredible journey together. I take great joy here tonight with these three guys sitting next to me. The fact that they're 7-2 on college basketball's biggest stage over the last 2 years is something to take great pride in. And so I said, if losing a basketball game is the worst thing that's going to happen in your life, you're going to have a fantastic life. And so we're just enjoying each other's company, the brotherhood that they're always going to be a part of, the family that Aztec basketball is. And we rejoice in that, even though we're disappointed in the outcome of the game. The game is not the journey, and we embrace and love the journey we were on together.
It's fantastic, man.
That's
I mean, again, you know, he's one of those coaches. You say, "Here you go, coach. Here's my son. You know, I trust that you'll take good care of him." He's an incredible man, an incredible coach, and you know, making the Sweet 16 is not some sort of championing mediocrity. It's not. You'll hear there'll be some edgelords, you know, in local media that say, you know, here we go again, celebrating mediocrity. There's nothing mediocre about making the Sweet 16 and, of course, the championship game last year, and you've run into, you know, the same team. They're beasts.
There are about 300 Division I college basketball teams that don't make the tournament. 68 do. Then there are 67 more of them that ultimately have the disappointment at the end. If the only thing that you care about is winning the championship at the end of the year, college basketball is not a great sport for you.
Not for you, man.
Because there are 367 teams that aren't going to win the championship at the end of the year, and only one does.
No,
you can't judge success that you're that one out of close to 400 teams that wins it at the end of the year.
It's so huge. And thinking about now, I mean, obviously, if you're an Aztecs basketball fan, you're a little panicked about what next year looks like already.
But you were panicked last year.
You were panicked last year.
What this year was going to look like.
Correct. And you want to see the next level. One guy that I'm just, you know, Reese Waters really, he kind of fell off this year. He started off really, really strong. I thought that was going to be a really great pickup, and then just kind of got wheels off at the end and was a little bit wheels off last night and lost his shot. But one guy that I'm really excited about is Miles Bird. I love him. I think he's fun to watch. He's got attitude, and he tweeted, I'm telling you, 10 minutes after the game, like, all right, next season starts now. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, nowadays kids in college basketball, right? 10 minutes after the game, tweet, I'm getting into the portal.
Yeah,
a lot of them do.
Portal.
So,
that's exactly right.
You know, keeping your kids is the first thing you have to do as a coach. Then you got to go and try to recruit in the portal, and you've got to recruit new freshmen. It's such a tough job. I don't not begrudge a lot of the college basketball coaches for what they're making now, because it is a complicated, multitasking, 24-hour-a-day, 365-day-a-year job, and Dutch does it really, really well.
No question.
So
nothing to hang your hat about.
I did want to say about Dan Hurley. His statement was very classy when he took the podium as well. Said, obviously thrilled with the performance, just playing against Brian's teams. It's always an honor to play San Diego State. They've been one of the best college basketball programs in the country for the last several years. The job he's done there, it's incredible. Couldn't have more respect for their players, how they show up. Obviously, we had our best night, and they didn't have one of their best nights. Obviously, didn't expect a game like this versus those guys, but ultimate respect to San Diego State. true champions. Very
Awesome.
classy statement
Yeah,
there.
very classy move
by UConn coach
now,
Dan Hurley.
Wash my underwear, woman. Now back to the business at hand. Go wash my underwear, Mrs. Hurley.
So quality season for the Aztecs again. Very hard to come back the year after reaching the Final Four and do it again because you almost always lose key players, and that makes what UConn is doing. They lost NBA players. They lost really good players. They're the only team to win the championship and get back to at least the Elite Eight since Florida won back-to-back national titles in 2006 and 2007. Next up, they have a very good offensive team, Illinois, who beat Iowa State 72-69 in the Elite Eight. Illinois and UConn might be the two best offensive teams in the country, but UConn's much better defensively, and I think they're going to probably win that game handily again on Saturday. Do we see an early line
I've not
yet
seen
on
the
that
line
game?
yet.
UConn against Illinois. The other two games, big surprises. Clemson knocked off Arizona, the 6th seed Tigers, 77-72. And Alabama, the 4th seed, knocked out the first number 1 seed in the tournament, beating North Carolina.
Sorry, Jordan.
89-87. Both teams going back to the Elite Eight for the first time in a long time. 2 decades for Alabama. 1980, the last time Clemson has been in the Elite Eight, which sets up a very interesting regional final. Seems like it should be a football game.
Yeah.
Alabama-Clemson.
Fantastic match.
Playing
matchup.
each other for a spot in the Final Four.
Yeah.
It's not football season. It is basketball season, and they're going to battle it out on Saturday. And, of course, 4 more Sweet 16 games tonight on the schedule.
I don't know if I have a team left. I have not looked at my bracket in about a week. It's atrocious.
I mixed it up a little bit. I have
you have 3 different
Houston
brackets.
winning one of my brackets. I have Tennessee winning one of my brackets. I have UConn winning one of my brackets.
Okay.
So they're all still alive as the champion at the end.
Wait, who do you have?
Houston, UConn, and Tennessee.
Okay.
And they're my 3 champions. They're all still alive in the NCAA tournament. Tennessee plays Creighton today. Houston plays Duke. Gonzaga against Purdue, and NC State against Marquette are your last 4 Sweet 16 games today.
Yeah, I'm going to go take a look
Let's
at
see.
some
I've
of
got
those.
those. So the line is UConn by 8.5.
Okay.
So the Aztecs, they opened at like 9,
and then moved to
it bet up to
11.5.
11.5. This one starts here at 8.5. We'll see if UConn gets more money, and everyone thinks they're going to win by double digits again, this time against 3rd-seeded Illinois. That'll be the first game at 3:09 on Saturday, and then Clemson, Alabama is the second game at 5:49.
Well, we
Saturday.
normally do like a hard reset at 8, but we've got a very special guest.
Yes, we do.
The great Eno Sarris jumping on with us after a almost full slate of baseball yesterday.
Now, we'll get to that next. Some smart baseball on a Friday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, halfway home on a Friday. Victory Friday. Ben and Woods 97.3 The Fan. What?
Where's my 8 o'clock lobster?
Yeah, this is not...
Kind of gotten used to a giant platter of lobster and crab at 8 a.m. You can't just take it away from me now.
I mean, we're 1-0 with the golden sombrero bucket. I'm actually, if we're going to be superstitious, I'm going to need to go down to Baja Rick's.
Baja Rick Delivery. Can we DoorDash a giant golden sombrero platter to us at the studios right now?
Really
and go right after that again this morning. You know who would love, I think, a golden sombrero bucket?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, our next guest. He's back this season. Going to be on Thursdays, but a little special Friday edition. It's time for some smart baseball. Paulie always great about updating our opens and keeping it fresh, but you don't change perfection, and that one is perfection.
I actually did have to change that one.
You did?
Just slightly because, well, it used to have a Blake Snell drop in there.
I forgot about that.
See,
Remix.
That's the attention to detail that Paulie provides.
Just can't do it anymore. It pained me to pull the
That was such a good one, too. Well, the Athletics' Eno Sarris joins us. Eno, happy opening day. I don't know if it included a giant platter of crab and lobster and prime steak like ours did, but I hope you had a good one.
No, it didn't. I'm jealous.
You should be. You should be
Absolutely,
jealous. Yeah.
you should be.
What did opening day look like for you yesterday?
Well, I chose not to go to the ballpark for opening day because my choice for ballparks for opening day was Oakland.
Oh.
And it just looked so depressing. Plus, my son, who's in the car, say hi, Felix.
Hi, Felix.
My son had his first fantasy draft.
Yes.
So I decided to stay home and help him do his first fantasy draft.
Oh, I bet he slayed it. I bet he absolutely slayed
you
it.
should see his team. He does, and he has Suarez. He wanted to have some. He's a bit of a Padres fan, so
Good.
he got Suarez, Bogart, and somebody else, Tatis, and C.
Having Eno Sarris as your dad and doing a fantasy draft, there should be there's no way you should be able to be allowed to do it.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah, there's something.
Choosing to go to Oakland, though, for opening day is like going to the breakfast buffet and skipping over the Eggs Benedict and the French toast and just going to the cream of wheat and having that.
Cereal, dry cereal.
That's your choice.
It sucks, dude. It sucks. I saw yesterday some A's fans protested. They watched the opener in the parking lot. I heard that they did not even open the gates. It was an hour before first pitch, and they weren't letting fans in. I watched a little bit of the game last night. They drew 13,000 people on opening day.
And that's not that. I don't even know if that's the correct number. One time when they announced 14 or 15, I went and counted head by head the entire place, and I came up about 3,000 or 4,000 short of that. So I think what happens is that's the season ticket subscriber base.
Yeah.
You'd expect most of them to show up on opening day, but yesterday, because there was a boycott, and the boycott decided that they were going to be out in the parking lot. And so I bet you there were season ticket holders that didn't show up because they're like, it's going to be a mess in the parking lot.
I'm going to make a bold prediction in honor of Eno's bold predictions that came out in The Athletic. My bold prediction is the Padres will have better attendance at Gallagher Square this season than the A's have in their entire ballpark the entire year.
Pretty safe.
All right. By the way,
it's so sad though. I mean, just for the team employees. I mean,
terrible.
I've been talking to them, and some of them, I was like, well, you do this. You could do this for, it's a portable skill. You can do it for somebody else. And they're like, no, I don't love what I do specifically. I love baseball.
Yeah, that's such a bummer.
And I don't want to move. So, yeah, I feel for a lot of them.
So your little season preview bold predictions column in The Athletic started out pretty well because I saw you had The Pirates is a surprise playoff team potentially, and they had a nice come-from-behind extra-inning win on the road against the Marlins. You had Vlad Guerrero as your kind of bold pick for AL MVP. He got off to a good start with an absolutely monster home run. Well done, Eno.
Yeah, I was feeling good about it. But, I got a lot of crap for saying the Red Sox rotation might not be as bad as people think, but Brian Bayo goes out and gets the win. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Bayo's pretty nasty. I watched some of his game. I flipped last night. It was great. I mean, we went to the game and then came home, and I just remembered I've got the MLB package so I can watch the rest of these games, and I flipped to all of them now. It didn't go so well in Colorado. I was keeping tabs on for Colorado. I was keeping tabs on what the NL West is doing, and my bold.
Other than the 14-run inning game they gave up, it was actually a pretty close,
good game. Yeah, that's exactly right. My hangover theory for the Diamondbacks is not holding water yet. They did not look hungover at all after a long season last year. They're going to be pretty formidable, as are the Dodgers, as potentially are the Giants. Nice come from behind victory for the Pods yesterday, though. Did you get a chance to watch any of that game?
Oh, yeah, definitely watched a lot of that game. And I thought they, one place that I hope they're in good spot, and it looks good on opening day, is the sort of middle of the bullpen. That's where, for the Giants, it started to fall apart a little bit. And for the Padres, it held together. I thought Yuki Matsui looked good. Adrian Morejon in his final tune-up, in one of the spring games, he had like 4 strikeouts.
He did.
And,
he had two really nice outings, and
they did send him down.
They optioned him because he has.
I'm always talking about Morejon. They're always sending him down.
Yeah, well, this is the last time. So this is the last option. He's got one more year of options or whatever.
So I wanted to put you on the spot since you didn't include any Padres bold predictions, but I wanted to see if you can make one bold prediction for the San Diego Padres. It could be negative, it could be positive, although our audience, if you want to be liked, it probably has to be positive. So anything that you can boldly predict about the San Diego Padres for 2024, Eno Sarris.
Well, I can tell you what my 11th one was that I took out last minute, and it was that Johnny Brito out-earns the entire Washington Nationals rotation.
Out-earns?
So I really like Brito. We sat behind home plate for one of his starts in Tempe Diablo, and I saw him go toe-to-toe with Mike Trout. I think body language said he was a little bit nervous, but he got him out. And I really he throws high sinkers with some of the best in the game, and that's the one way that I think a left-hander can throw sinkers to right-handers, or a right-hander can throw sinkers to left-handers. And so I think that Brito's cutter and high sinker package is good enough. His curve is really good. They're going to need him.
They will.
I would say he's their sixth starter. I would have chosen him over Waldron myself, though it's fun to have a knuckleballer in the league. And so I think Brito's going to get like 100 innings this year and be like a really good starter for them. It's probably their best sixth starter they've had, in this run.
I think everyone in the audience agrees with you and are now kind of wishing after his last 2 relief appearances that they would actually use him in a starting capacity. And they've tried to wedge him into kind of a couple of high leverage situations. It hasn't gone great for him. The stuff is obviously there when you watch him pitch, but how are they going to deploy him? That's what we're going to ask the skipper in about 51 minutes. Is all right. You've kind of groomed this guy to be a starter, and you put him into 2 games in high leverage. It hasn't worked out. What's the plan?
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the Mike Trout at bat. He had this Mike Trout at bat that was super sort of high strung, and I think he had like a pitch clock violation. And maybe he allowed a stolen base. He looked a little bit flustered. So I actually think that starting is a better situation sometimes for a player like that, because if you're bringing him into the 8th, it's like easier to get flustered, right?
Sure.
If you're in the 2nd and you give up a hit or 2, it is still high, it can be high leverage, but you're like, well, it's only the 2nd. Like there's a whole lot of ball game after this. If I give up 1 run, like we're still in it. Whereas if it's in the 8th or 9th, you'd be like, hey, we have 1 run, we're out of this. So, I think starting fits his temperament better. That's something for them to know better than I know from the outside. But I bet you it's something they're talking about.
Smart Baseball, Eno Sarris with The Athletic is with us, and not as many dramatic rule changes as last year, but what are your thoughts, because I know you have some, on the additional enforcement of the blocking of the bases rule out on the base paths? I don't know that I saw it come into play yesterday. I saw a couple of where it might have been called and it wasn't called. What did you see?
Surprisingly, yeah, I saw one too.
Yeah, I mean, we had some in spring that there was one against Lindor that I was like, that looks like BS to me. I think it's going to be a problem at some point early in the season. I'm hoping they kind of relax and don't enforce this too hard because, there's just so many ways that a throw can take you into the base path, into the lane. And on some level, the defenders are taught to to receive the ball in front of the bag. Right?
Sure.
So you're asking them to undo like years and years of training if you're saying that they have to keep that lane totally open. So I'm hoping that it won't be enforced as strictly as they sort of said it would. The other thing is, you have the pitch clock changing a little bit shorter. And one thing that happened last year was the base runners were successful 80% of the time on every stolen base and 85% of the time on third base. And the break-even point is 75. So I expect people to run even more this year because the way that baseball works is you keep pushing and pushing and pushing until you hit that break-even point.
I know we got to explain things, though, to our audience. So the break-even point means where it becomes a valuable play as opposed to a not valuable play. You've got to make it at least 3/4 of the time, correct?
Yes, because the negative value of the out is so bad. And if you think about it, you only have 3 outs in an inning. Advancing one base, you probably want to advance 3 bases for every out.
Yeah.
In order to make it valuable. So that's the thinking, that's the math behind it. And if you're at 80-85%, you're going to keep going. So especially running towards from second to third, if that's a free base basically, you're going to do it because now you can score on sacrifice flies. So. There's a lot more stealing that's going to happen this year, I think.
Eno, we're so glad to have you back this season. We'll get you into your regular Thursday slot next week. And are you going to be in town?
I am.
Excellent.
I'm going to be in town. I'm covering. What's this Tuesday thing? I'm covering the game.
Oh God!
Oh, you're going to be there on Tuesday.
You're coming on Tuesday.
Ben Woods and Paul are throwing up.
Katie Wu is already going to be there for the Athletic.
The first pitch. We don't. How many Athletic reporters do we need to cover our first pitch?
Yeah, we're going to be there first pitch, buddy.
Oh, you're doing the first pitch.
Yeah, we're doing the first pitch.
No.
Oh,
He's going to break down our stuff plus. Oh no!
Oh, he's laughing too much about this.
I'm
do a breakdown.
Yeah, breakdown.
No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
Oh, it'd be my honor. Can we get pitching ninja there too? That's who I really want to get there.
Maybe Nolan Ryan can come by and give us some pointers.
Don't 57 it. Who's that guy who threw it into the balls with the photographer? Don't do that.
Oh no.
There's Baba Booey from the Stern Show. I mean, I'll be watching them all.
As I said,
weekend.
no one ever throws a good pitch. If you throw a good pitch, it's forgotten in 5 seconds. It's only the bad ones that get remembered.
This is gonna suck. Well, we'll see
like
you.
You're planning a bad one.
No. I want to be forgotten instantly. Is
I'm
my
so
goal.
nervous now.
We will see you on Tuesday, my friend, and look for us. We will be down there, and yeah, get your cameras ready. You're gonna see some stuff plus like you've never seen.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Eno. Smart Baseball brought to you all season long by 7 Mile Casino. Appreciate Eno. Appreciate 7 Mile Casino. And looking forward to having him back all year. It's such a good point, though. We all grew up, talking about the counting stats. How many home runs, RBI, and how many stolen bases. And if you stole 40 bases, man, you're a great base stealer. But if you're getting caught 20 times,
Yes.
you're not a good base stealer.
Correct.
Because if you're not making it at least 3 out of 4 times, you're hurting your team. You're not helping your team by stealing bases. Now, if you only steal 10 bags, but you're only thrown out once, you're helping your team on the base paths. It's not the number of steals, it's how often you make it versus how often you try that determines whether you're helping your team or hurting your team on the base paths.
Yeah, 100%. And there's guys that do it really, really well, and there's guys that aren't fast but are really good base stealers. They're smart about when they run. Manny Machado's one of those guys. When he runs, you're like, oh, no. Oh, he beat it by a mile. He knows when to go, knows the right counts, and there's definitely an art form to it. But with these new blocking rules, I think he's right. I think we said it a couple weeks ago. Why not? Go. I mean, go. If they're blocking the bag, you're going to get that bag anyway.
Speaking of rules, I already had our first controversy in baseball last night, and perhaps the most dramatic game of opening day in Texas with the defending champions. Can talk about that coming up, and we're going to give away those Tom Segura tickets, last pair before they go on sale to the public later today. That is all coming up next with Ben and Woods. We'll be back after a check of traffic with Kelly here on 97.3 The Fan.
That's your station for Tom Petty, as usual. It's Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan.
You're just criticizing yourself.
I understand it. I understand. I just don't know why it doesn't rotate.
Also,
Tom
your
Petty all the time.
station for Mike Shildt at 9 a.m., getting ready for the manager's report, and your station for Dylan Cease this afternoon on Gwen and Chris on a Friar Friday.
Love it.
Get to know the newest member of the San Diego Padres, scheduled to make his debut, weather permitting, tomorrow on the mound against the San Francisco Giants, but he'll make his 97.3 The Fan debut sometime this afternoon. I don't have a specific time, but obviously Gwen and Chris are on starting at 2 o'clock, so you can tune in at 2, and they'll probably have more specific details on the Dylan Cease appearance, but looking forward to hearing from the Padres' new starting pitcher.
Yeah, I saw him the other day walking by. Handsome fella. Really good stuff. Talked to Mike Shildt about him for just a second when we popped down to the field the other day, and yeah, man, I'm expecting big things from Dylan Cease, and you'd love to see a little length from him in his first start out there. That's kind of what he's known for. What are you guys thinking about tonight's start with Joe Musgrove, based on some rough spring outings and then a couple of decent ones at the end and then kind of a rough go again?
Not worried about it.
Yeah, I'm really not either. It's the Dodgers. They're going to grind you down. They're a really good team.
Korea, it's the Dodgers.
You can't judge anything off
You
those
can't
games.
more throw out a start than you can throw out a start in Korea against the Dodgers. But still, I mean, you'd like to see him get off to a good start. I consider this his first kind of real start of the year.
And he seems like he's a dog.
Yeah, he is a dog.
He
wants to
rises
win
to
this
the
game.
occasion.
Yep.
This is his home opener. He's going to be fine.
Tony Gwynn opening day.
Yes.
So a lot of people. I heard that, and of course, I was always a big fan of Tony Gwynn opening day. But
wasn't that technically yesterday? If we had a home game in
No.
Korea,
no, today is Tony Gwynn opening day. But I don't know that Tony Gwynn opening day really exists anymore, and I don't want to rain on anyone's parade.
Why do you hate Tony Gwynn all of a sudden?
Interesting.
Or act like I'm disrespecting the great Tony Gwynn. But Tony Gwynn's point was, you get a sellout crowd on opening day, and there's 55,000 people. But the next day, it's those 12,000 who show up on day 2 who are the real baseball fans. That was Tony's point. Guess what? Probably going to be absolutely packed at Petco Park and look pretty much exactly like opening day again today. The spirit of Tony Gwynn Day has changed a little bit.
Exactly right. It's no longer just the diehards down there like, hell yeah, all you losers yesterday at opening day.
It's more of an honorary Tony Gwynn opening day now because it's once again going to be, an absolute party scene at Petco Park on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Are you kidding
It's
me?
gonna be great.
Opening day, the opening week hats that they're giving out. It's going to be another opening day, essentially, tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch here on 97.3 The Fan. Eco Water SoCal pregame show with Sam Levitt at 5:40 today. All right, last night we talked about some of the games. D-backs just obliterating the Rockies. Dodgers got home runs from Mookie Betts.
Quickly, though, I wanted to read this to you guys. The 14 runs for Arizona in the third inning. You ready for this? Single, single, walk, single, double, single, single, fly out, double, single, single, walk, single, single, double, sac fly, single, ground out. Oh, my God. Having to sit through that if you're a Colorado Rockies fan. I'm sure you turned the game off by that point, but that was a drubbing, and Arizona looked really, really good.
Opening day record, right? The biggest inning on an opening day in baseball history. I was at a Padres home opener once. I think they scored 13 in the first against the Cardinals at the old Murph once when I was growing up. But 14 in one inning is very, very unsurmountable for the Colorado
tough.
Rockies. Dodgers look good against the Cardinals. They beat up on Miles Michaelis. Home runs from Betts and Freeman, both in the third inning. Ohtani reached 3 times, scored on the Freeman home run. Orioles got a great debut from Corbin Burns. You acquire an ace, you put him out there. You'd love to see 6 innings, 1 hit, 11 strikeouts in your
incredible day.
First outing is not a bad way to start against the Angels to give up a Trout home run, but of course Trout homers, Angels lose by 8. You'll probably hear that story more than once this season.
So gnarly.
Yankees beat the Astros 5-4 on a.
This is unbelievable. We were watching the end of this
the game on a Juan Soto. Absolutely gunning a guy down at home plate is not what you'd expect. And I told my Yankees friend, Scott, don't expect that all season long. I mean, he's not a horrible defender, but that's not the way Juan Soto's going to win the games for you this year.
Hannah even said, we were watching the game in the hotel room, the end of it. She goes, I never saw that kind of energy. Like he was in the outfield dancing, dapping guys up. She goes, I never saw that here. I go, you know what?
Never
It's
liked him.
priceless. But yeah, he had a good day. Drove in a run as well. I think he was on 3 times. So yeah, they were down 4-0 early. Came back and won again on a Juan Soto outfield putout or assist
at home plate.
at
Yeah.
home.
But I thought the game of the day, and it also had the most controversy, came in the defending World Series champion Texas Rangers matchup against the Cubs, which the Cubs trailed 3-2 in the 9th inning. And you had a play at home plate. There was a runner at second, I think, and the batter swung, and the ball got away from the catcher, but it was clearly foul tipped.
He foul tipped it.
And the umpires missed it, and the catcher didn't really know what was going on, so he didn't go and pick up the ball because normally catchers don't go racing after foul tips because the ball is dead. But the umpire missed it, and the runner came all the way around from second to score the tying run. And obviously the Rangers that were pretty upset about it because it's not a reviewable play.
Right.
Which doesn't make much sense. I get that you don't want to be reviewing everything and, add 20 minutes back to the games after you're trying to speed things up. But that one is so quick to check, and you could clearly see on the super slow-mo, the ball changes directions when it goes off the edge of the bat, and that's why the catcher couldn't catch it. You can't let a team have a huge advantage just because the umpire happened to miss the sound of the tick of the ball on the bat at home plate, going 95 miles an hour. So does baseball have to make some sort of change in the replay rules so they can somehow quickly address that if they miss a foul tip at home plate?
Yeah, I mean, it was gnarly when they slowed it down and they showed the ball when he tipped into the dirt, and then the ball just goes, it goes 90 degrees. Jonah Heim, the catcher, runs kind of half-ass after, then turns around and looks at the umpire like begging, like, hey, man, that was foul. Next thing you know, the guy's tearing ass around third. He comes around, he scores the tying run. And so I think a lot of people were down on Jonah Heim for, like, you just make the play and then talk to the umpire after. Now, then the Rangers come up in the bottom of the 9th, and they're down a run or something. Travis Jankowski, of all people, comes up and hits a missile out of the yard to tie the game. They end up winning it in extras on a huge knock from Jonah Heim. So it was a phenomenal, phenomenal game. And Craig Counsell pushed some weird buttons there late, throwing Drew Smiley.
Baseball's highest paid manager?
Yeah, baseball's highest paid manager. Kind of blew one there. So it was an awesome, awesome day of baseball.
The Rangers all's well that ended well, I guess. But it feels like they could, the NBA has sort of quietly, and the NFL even as well, has quietly turned the sky judge into a thing.
Yeah.
Like if they know they can correct something instantly and like hit a button that it tells the umpire or the referees or the scorer's table, you got that wrong. Just come over here and we will change it for you. No one needs to throw a challenge flag. No one needs to, make the signal, putting the headphones on. Just fix it so the game is right. Is there a way you can kind of fairly implement that? Because when you do that, there'll always be the people that go, well, why'd you fix it for this team and you missed the fixing for us?
Right.
They didn't they didn't call for a replay and you fixed it. But if you can get it right, and you can get it right within 10 seconds, please just do that.
Yeah, just get it right.
Please do that. And that was one of the plays what you could have gotten right. You could have gotten it right in less than 10 to 15 seconds and just gone on with the game. But for some reason, no, it's not allowed to check a foul tip at home plate on the replay machine.
Alan on Twitter says, can we give Tyler Wade some props? He looks like a dog out there. Yeah, I mean, you're seeing a guy that knows his time is probably limited, at least in a starting role. When Manny comes back to third base, it's not going to be a question who they're going to run out there. But I'm liked what I've seen so far from Tyler Wade. Speed does kill, and he did, his hustle and his speed did lead to a huge run for the Padres yesterday. So keep it up. Keep
Props
it up.
to Tyler Wade. Maybe we should give him these Tom Segura tickets as a reward.
If he wants them, they're his. Tyler, if you're listening, you call in right now.
I think I'm supposed to give them to a tier 1, actually. Fine. So it is time to call in. Last time this week, chance to win tickets to see comedian Tom Segura at Pechanga Arena on November 8th. Tickets go on sale today at AXS.com, access.com, but be the fourth caller, 833-288-0973 right now. Fourth caller, 833-288-0973. You can win our last pair of tickets this week to Tom Segura at Pechanga Arena. We'll come back since the manager's report is 9. Paulie's going to get a little Reindl Report early, some headlines for you when we come back with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
There's no way you really like that song, right? I just referenced off the air. We Built This City by Starship, and Ben goes, such a great song.
I
Under his
know
breath.
I know that it has been ranked by numerous publications as, in fact, the worst song of all time. I genuinely and truly do enjoy that song.
There's no.
And I can't help myself.
Knee deep in the hoopla. Sounds like diarrhea in a song.
Call us irresponsible.
It's like if diarrhea was a song.
And I like that they have
the
chopper guy on the traffic report at the end. It's the city by the bay. I like.
Megan likes it too. Paul's wife Megan also likes. The two of you are the only ones left.
Hang on, I'll give it to you clean, Paulie. I like We Built This City on rock and roll.
Perfect. That's what we needed. That's exactly what we needed.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by your local San Diego County, the UPS store. Your local San Diego County, the UPS store locations are hosting a shred event. Runs through tomorrow, 50% off shredding services. Visit the upsstore.com for the location nearest you. See store for details. We'll check traffic, and then Paulie's got some headlines on the Reindl Report ahead of our Mike Shildt Managers Report at 9 a.m. Next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
The roads are starting to wind down pretty nicely. Just one problem on the coastline. Up on 5 past Poinsettia. This vehicle spun out, hit the center divide. Now it's facing the wrong way in the HOV lane. Good morning. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station. 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
Gentlemen, got a couple of quick stories here for you. We will start off, I guess this is kind of college basketball. So, North Carolina, they were getting ready for their game at, they're in the West region, I guess. They're playing at Staples Center, Crypto.com
against
Arena
Alabama yesterday
in Los Angeles, and saw a report here from somebody covering the games. And all his quotes said was one North Carolina player with the quote of the day here at Crypto.com Arena. Quote, I just took a S where Braun takes an S.
Been there. Not
Says,
there.
I'll let you guys fill in the blanks. And that's college athletics at its best, I think, right there.
I think so, too. I do that. I said that at fantasy camp when we're back in the Padres clubhouse. I says, oh, man, I had got relegated to the Brett Sullivan stall, which is like the first one, like the non-luxurious one. You go into the Manny and Tatis stall, and there's like iPads in there. There's different sprays, better quality of toilet paper. I mean, there's a clear hierarchy in the locker room of like, you're not allowed to go there. Like, that's where I go. You go here into the very first stall, very thin toilet paper, sand all over the floor. Like, it's not the same. That makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yes. You ever have those really nice public restrooms where the doors go all the way ceiling to floor, and you go in, it's like your own room?
There might be nothing better in the world.
Those are so great.
The drug addict's dream also, Ben. Those stalls.
Ben Higgins. that's where Ben does.
So you
all
go
his
get a little
drugs.
bump in there so nobody can see you. I get it.
By the way, since you mentioned LeBron, did you see LeBron broke basketball news yesterday?
No.
He tweeted out that Duquesne had hired a new head coach before any of the other insiders did. Happened to be his old high school teammate Drew Joyce, who got the job. So LeBron had a little insider knowledge that he shared with everybody yesterday on a tweet. Taking Woj's job.
Wonder
now.
if he's supposed to do that. No, nothing's going to happen to him.
You know what?
LeBron.
I don't. If I'm Duquesne,
you don't
probably
care?
Okay with LeBron breaking any news that it brings attention to my program.
Yeah,
fair enough. All right. It was not that long ago that we were talking about next 2 stories here, kind of updates on things we've talked about. parents with children in sports, whether it's in particular for high school parents.
Not yet. Oh, not yet.
I've told you the horror stories of me. I coached high school baseball for 6 years. The parents were the worst part. The coaches were fine. The opposing coaches were fine. Even the umpires were fine. It was the parents. They were the worst. And I'll give you an example of why that still stands true today, because there was a post going viral of a parent that had a plane fly a message over a high school baseball game, and I'll put it up here on the stream for everybody to see. It says, Carmel baseball is daddy ball. Somebody paid to have that plane fly around, and by the way, it was a JV baseball game.
No, it was
So daddy ball means the coach's son is on the team and getting
shortstop, batting 3 hole,
an unearned amount of playing time, etc.
Here. I don't know if a kid was cut. And
that's what daddy ball is.
That's what daddy ball is.
But it could be maybe the kid was cut and the dad didn't think he should be. Maybe the kid's on the team but he never plays and the dad thinks he should be. But dude, oh my God,
I cannot believe that.
Whether or not and there have been coaches, obviously, who have played favorites with their own kid. It's happened many times. Whether that's true or not, whether you believe it's true or not, the idea of flying a banner over the game and embarrassing the kid.
That's the worst part.
Think about how awful that is. Kid doesn't have any choice in the matter. Dad tells him, you're playing. I mean, what is he supposed to do? Stand up? Dad, I don't deserve to be batting third in this lineup. You really should have me batting 8th, to be fair to the other kids. No, he has to go out there, play wherever Dad says he's going to play. For another parent to go out and embarrass and humiliate the kid by doing that, it's awful. It's horrible.
Here's the lesson, though. People are saying in the chat, like, no, that's incredibly based. I don't know anything about the Carmel program, but I do know daddy ball is a real thing. And somebody said politics in baseball is real. Politics in every walk of life is real. Yeah. It really is. I have talked to ex-minor leaguers that have said, dude, here were my numbers. Here were this guy's numbers. This guy was the quintessential politician in the clubhouse with the management. I wasn't. He got the call up. I didn't. Like, it's real in every walk of life. It's real in radio. It's real in accounting. I mean, it's just everywhere you go.
The way that embarrasses your kid,
your kid's toast. But as a coach myself that's planning on coaching a few more years up until, I don't know, maybe he's 12 or something. Go ahead. You want to weigh in? Put your mouth on the mic.
What if the coach's son is the best player?
Well, that's the thing. I think the other parents, well, he probably deserves to be there, and I take it. I'm way harder on Bo than I am of any of the other kids I coach.
And Bo is better.
And all right, relax. People are listening to this show.
I think
he works hard. He really works hard.
And this is going to sound like an insult, but it's a compliment to you, Woods. You don't play politics, and yet you still have been very successful. In fact,
try not to.
You're almost anti in that you've antagonized a lot of people in town and somehow still have managed to be successful without playing politics.
You're welcome.
That's maybe the best compliment that I've ever received.
I was trying to.
No, it's true. It's true.
It sucks, man.
It's tough, man. But I think it's the coach's job too. You have to I was talking to Kurt Bavacqua about this the other day. He said you have to set the precedent early. We don't need you to scream throw strikes at the kids. They know that their job is to throw strikes. It's not that easy. So if you're in the stands, pipe down a little bit, watch. They're kids. I don't need you poking your head in the dugout saying, hey, why did you send him on that? I'm the coach. If you want to coach, you get your ass out here and coach.
It gets worse the older the kids
100%.
get, too, because, again, I'm looking at this from the frame of high school baseball.
Well, and also,
I'm the coach, and if I tell your kid to take, I don't need you in the bleachers saying, what are you taking for?
What are you taking for? Right. The other thing, Paulie, the flip side to that coin is when you have your kids, all you want is the best for them. It never comes from a place, really, I think, of anything other than I just love him and want him to be successful, or her. I want them to be successful. it manifests itself in terrible behavior, though. Like, that
But
sucks.
some parents don't just want their kid to be happy. They're also like counting on, I need a scholarship for my kid, and if he's not getting the playing time, all of a sudden they're feeling like
the
pressure of
it's
like
JV baseball.
But it's JV baseball.
They start feeling that pressure.
And Kurt told me, he said, and there was another guy who coached at Torrey Pines High for years. I think it was before your time, Ben. I talked to him.
I think I know exactly who you're talking about. I forget the name.
He said, "Look, man, the good kids with the talent it will always kind of rise up. Like, it will rise above." And again, though, I mean, I tell you stories of friends that have played in the minor leagues that said, "Oh, I wasn't a big rah guy, so I didn't get the call up, even though I doubled this guy's numbers. He got the call up. He was a better clubhouse fit." And so it's just hard, man. And I know some hard days are ahead, you know, as a youth sports coach and
unless
parent.
you're going to be a high school coach, like, I would just, my advice, take it or leave it, is at some point you'll know when the time is. Just be a parent.
Just
You don't have
just
to be the
watch.
Coach. Let the coaches be the coach, and then just go be the parent.
Yeah,
because
it's
it is
tough,
tough
man.
to separate
I
it.
100% hire that plane.
Dude,
and 100% hires that plane. Yeah,
I mean, I had a kid's dad. Like, one of the only rules we had was you do not step on the field unless your kid's like concussed or something.
Right, he
obviously.
wears one in the dome.
You do not come into the dugout to give them their Gatorade. If they forgot it, they'll be thirsty. They won't forget it next time.
Correct.
Like, you do not step on the field. You also don't wait for me by my car.
Correct.
If you want to talk to me about something, there was a process. You email me, set up a meeting.
Yeah.
I'm totally willing to talk. Not as I'm walking to my car. I was at second base raking after a game, and this dad beeline right towards me. I'm like,
broke both rules at the same time.
oh my god!
both rules. Yeah,
I had a
exactly
in my
right.
head. I'm like,
Oh, man.
is this happening
Are we
right
doing
now?
this?
Are we doing this? My assistant coach got right in his face and shoved him back and said, "Get off this field
Crazy,
right
dude.
now." And it was because his
Crazy.
kid didn't play or something. You know, it's just like, dude, the embarrassment. I'm like, I'm going to embarrass you in front of your children.
That poor kid whose dad flew that, or mom, who flew that plane over is like, sick, dude.
No,
Thanks.
he's the best player. He's going to go play somewhere else. And
Well,
just show
we
him
don't
off,
know.
so.
We just don't know.
Well, if it weren't for Daddy Ball, he could be on that team.
awful.
All right, turn her mic off.
All right, and then finally, I told you we were going to update some stories. It is Easter this weekend, and a week or two ago, we talked about a new body spray that was going to be sold in Five Below stores. Peeps body spray.
Peeps.
And well,
You like
after-
I like a good peep.
a plain
you like
yellow.
just a plain yellow peep, I believe.
A plain yellow peep.
We'll find out in about
Bunny,
an hour.
no,
from
a
now.
chick, not bunny.
Well, I
not
went
bunny.
to Five Below, and I came up with some Peeps body spray here. I have they don't have strawberry cream scented is the pink flavor, and we have marshmallow scented is the blue flavor. I was wondering if you guys were.
I'll
gonna
try some.
Which one you want?
I'll do the blue.
marshmallow or
I'll take marshmallow.
It's like
thank you.
City Connect. I'll do the pink then. Whoa.
nice catch. Good hands. See if this works.
Smells fantastic.
Don't do it. Oh, he did it. You
Sweet.
sprayed it in your mouth.
It's sweet.
Doesn't taste
Definitely
bad.
sweet.
Does it smell like something you'd wear?
I
I
mean,
mean, not me.
The,
Smells like something a dancer would
the
wear.
Friday prank move is as soon as we're leaving the studio this morning, just douse everything in here
they
before
would-
the Annie and Elston.
Adam is running the board today for them. So,
Paula, here,
yeah.
make the entire board smell like marshmallow peep.
I taste it. It doesn't taste bad. It tastes better than an actual peep because it smells so good. It
that's
does
not
smell.
bad at all.
It smells really good. It's probably like $1 too.
Maybe it says, "Do
Happy
not bring this
Easter,
home."
everybody.
Getting lucky
Smells a
today.
little bit like explicit.
Sure does. Sure does.
Speaking of story updates for you, since we mentioned it yesterday, our friend Steve Sugimoto was competing in his very first professional Japan Tour tournament. Second round, he got through 12 holes, but they had rain. Didn't finish. He's still at even par with like 7 to play tomorrow in Japan. So he's going to need a couple of birdies, I think, to make the cut. But I was scanning on their website, and you can click on his profile, his tour profile. And there was a picture of him, a nice smiling picture of Steve Sugimoto, and then some of his details like age, birth date. Then home school, it says University of San Diego. So
Close.
It's close. There's definitely a San Diego in there, but he went to San Diego State University.
Correct.
Height, 163 centimeters.
Okay.
He's not a tall guy.
He's not a tall guy.
Weight, 78 kilograms.
No idea the conversion.
And blood type, A. It's on there. It's actually on his tour bio. He is blood type A.
That's on his bio.
So, in case for some reason he gets run over by a golf cart and they need to quickly pull
up his bio.
Transfusion on the course.
Well, I mean,
what blood type is he? We can look that up now on the Japan tour site.
We laugh, but I don't know my blood type. Do you know your blood type, babe?
A positive, baby.
A positive. Paul, you know your.
I know your blood type.
You know my
yeah,
blood
you're
type.
B negative.
Look at this guy over there. Give me a rim shot, Paulie. Look at him. B negative. That's true. That is true. Do you know yours, Paulie?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Not a clue.
You know yours, Ben?
I don't know mine either. I don't think I'm O. I definitely knew it at one point. I think I'm A. I don't know if I'm positive or negative. I would think I'm positive.
B negative, by the way.
Negative. It's great. Is there such thing as a B negative?
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
All right.
A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative. Then there's AB positive and AB negative, O positive, and O negative. O negative is the universal donor. They can give to anyone.
Ooh, I would
and
like
I
to be
think
that.
AB positive is the universal receiver. They can get from anyone.
Hey, look at the big brain on Brad. You smart at that. All right, we have to go to break because we need to get serious here.
Yeah,
We got
Mike
the
Schultz
manager
coming on.
Come on.
Here we go.
Lock it in.
Can't have any fun with the skipper.
Lock
Actually,
it
have a little
in.
bit of fun after an opening day 6-4 win. Our managers report. Mike Schultz will join us when we come back. Final hour of the week of Ben and Woods coming up next right here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So excited for what we've got coming up this season. We've got a great lineup of regular guests throughout baseball and Padres season, but the most anticipated will be Friday mornings when we will have the Manager's Report brought to you by SDCCU. It's not big bank banking, it's better. And joining us right now, thanks to San Diego County Credit Union, is the manager of the San Diego Padres, coming off yesterday's 6-4 opening day win over the San Francisco Giants. Mike Shildt is with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Mike, congratulations on the win yesterday. A really fun day for all of us out at the ballpark.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good to be with you, and it was a fun day. Guys played really well in front of a lovely, wonderful crowd and a beautiful day.
Now, it was a long day for us. We had the broadcast at 6 a.m., and we're there the whole time. What does opening day look like for the skipper?
Well, it's tried to treat it like any other game, but clearly opening day is a special day, and even more special yesterday with, again, a chance to remember Peter Seidler and have the moment of silence for the game and reflect on him and, remind ourselves one of the reasons we're going to do this well this year. But other than that, it's just try to normalize it. It's clearly a game of importance. Everybody's excited. Getting back to a home opener is special, but really just want to make sure you're taking care of business and dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
Well, and a really tough customer yesterday in Logan Webb. I mean, I tweeted yesterday, it looked like we were hitting weighted balls. I mean, you can't get barrel on that guy, and to kind of grind out a couple of runs was tough sledding, certainly. What do you tell your guys in instances like that where it's like, hey, man, is it just go up there, keep fighting, keep putting the ball in play? Because I got to tell you, as a longtime observer myself, it did feel like, man, that was really tough sledding up there against him.
Yeah, it's got a good arm, like you said, a heavy ball, big power sinker. I was really pleased. You're going to run into good pitching. You want to be a great team, you got to be good, great, pitching. This guy's a great pitcher. And I was really pleased with the fact that we got better as the game went. The at-bats got better. Guys are communicating with each other about what they were seeing. That's really effectively a big part of it is the guys just seeing what he's doing, reacting to what he's doing, making adjustments if necessary to what he's doing, and talking to each other about what they're seeing, using their collective baseball IQs is really important. For the game, I thought we had a good plan. That's a job. Rodriguez, our hitting coach, does a great job. But the guys really, knew what they were seeing, had some history with him, but really just focused on taking better at bats every at bat.
And when you're facing a guy like that, obviously you need your starter to match him and keep you in the game. And you, Darvish, absolutely did that. And I thought maybe the key moment of the game came there in the top of the fourth inning when they started the inning with two singles off of you, and he came back, struck out Yastrzemski, and then had the liner back there, the runners, those second and third. So a chance to really break the game open a little bit for the Giants, and that strikeout of Conforto to end the inning. Talk a little bit about you, Darvish's just performance yesterday and what you saw from him.
Yeah, there was a lot of big moments in the game yesterday. You just said one that probably didn't get noticed as much, but was really big, where he's in some traffic. They got second and third, less than 2 outs, and he just makes really big pitches. And I thought he threw the ball fantastic, from the very beginning. Ahmed put a good swing on a tough pitch to give him that lead 1-0. And, like you said, he was able to escape without any further damage. Thought he threw the ball very, very well. Not an easy decision about when to bring him out, but it was in the sixth inning for the first time all year. 78 pitches, which later in the year that's not going to be an issue, but want to make sure we're being smart as we look at a long year. And his pitch count was going to be about 85, so I just felt like it was the time. But he threw the ball really, really well. Really pleased about every aspect of how he competed yesterday.
Talking to the skipper, Mike Shildt, here on Ben and Woods this morning. And, yeah, I talked to Ruben Niebla the other day, and I asked him, how long does it take for you guys collectively to kind of come up with the plan? And one of the aspects of the plan so far, an interesting one, I think, for Padres fans, and certainly ourselves too, is the usage of Johnny Brito. And he's got just electric stuff built up as a starter in spring training, now getting a couple of more high-leverage opportunities earlier in the season. What is the thinking behind that? Is it just, what is the thinking behind that, I guess, from your guys' perspective?
Well, I mean, you kind of explained it. It's a guy with experience in the bullpen, successful experience over when he was with New York, comes over in the trade, clearly can be a hybrid guy, was given the opportunity to start, was really pushed out, we got Dylan in the trade. And so we put him in a role that's a little more, he's got some experience doing, give him an opportunity. Like you said, big arm, loved his fastball, just yesterday a couple balls, found some holes that, created some opportunities for them to their credit. And, he's thrown the ball well. He's got a nice arm and those strikes and, a lot of good things to like about a guy that can come out of your bullpen.
It's our weekly SDCCU Managers Report with Mike Shildt here on Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. And Mike, if you can recall after the game, what word did you use to describe Fernando Tatis Jr. going from first to third there in the sixth inning on a little number in front of the plate?
That was sexy.
It was.
I love that you use that word because we all find certain baseball plays sexy as well. We're just those kind of fans. What other baseball plays do you think you might describe as sexy, Mike?
I don't know. You kind of know it when you see it. I mean, there'll be more that'll come up that we'll attach that to. But that was just a baseball play that it's heads up. It's all the intangibles. It's anticipation. It's athleticism. It's aggression. It's trust. It's all the different things that make a really special baseball play. And there was actually a fair amount of them yesterday. I mean, Toddy's was very well aptly described. Just a great baseball plays going on the pitch, full count with Croney, and didn't hesitate. And the thing that was even more impressive about it for me is that ball's behind him. It's over on the first base side. He's going towards second, but he was able to figure out what that looked like and make a decision. Jackson going first to third on the ball bogey hit was really nice. Manny going first to third. There was just really good base running plays yesterday that, for me, are big differentiators that help you win baseball games.
Now, unfortunately, you didn't cash in on that sexy play because Manny just got a little bit in on the wrist there and floated the one to second. After that at bat, he tried to snap the bat over his knee. Now, I don't know that anyone can ever make fun of Manny Machado. No. He's such a stud. But did anyone say anything in the dugout after that moment?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, there you go. That is a perfect answer.
I think you saw something I didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
What play?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Mike Shildt doesn't miss anything.
No. That's exactly right, man. Talking to the skipper, Mike Shildt, here on Ben and Woods. Listen, we talked when we were at spring training, the three of us or the four of us talked about, you trying to get the best out of what you have and what you've been given as the manager. AJ Preller's job is to put the guys on the roster. I think a lot of people, you can't really say much about what Tyler Wade's done. He's done really, really well, and he's a grindy player, and he's really making the most of his opportunity. We talked though about the young kids, and I'm talking, of course, about Graham Pauley, and him being on the roster. He's not going to get a ton of at-bats right now. He may need those to develop. How do you reconcile that as you move forward throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we clearly want to take advantage of every opportunity. Tyler Wade's done a great job.
He has
a fantastic job. He's he's made baseball plays. Our fan base, it's a very educated, passionate fan base, is aware of. It does a lot of little things really well. He's played, very good defense on most every play. He's had great at bats. He's got a hit in every game, at least one. He scored multiple runs early in the season. He's run the bases really well. Got a big hit to right yesterday in that 4-run inning that got us going after Campy's base hit. He just played really, really well. Rosario's played really well when he gets the opportunities against lefties, and he'll get a chance today against Harrison to go in there. So we feel really good about that. They're holding down third while Manny's still working to get back as an everyday player on the field. So Paulie, look, he takes great at bats. He's clearly played third. Just doesn't have as much experience at that position, at the higher levels. Is still working with him, works hard every day. clearly a guy we like. So it's just a matter of, what the opportunities present themselves.
Sure, finding the right spot for him. But you're talking about ABs, and I couldn't have been more impressed with Campusano's yesterday. I mean, the shortening up with two two-strike hits, I believe, yesterday, just massive growth from that young man, and look good behind the dish as well. Tell us about the work that he's been putting in and how conscious that's been to try to shorten up and just put the ball in play with two strikes.
Yeah, Campy's demonstrated early, which is really impressive, at early stages of his career, about what a professional, not only a hitter looks like, but a player looks like. He just, he really loves the game, studies the game, is intentional about being great at the game. And, him taking what the game gives you, he's got the ability, as we've seen, to drive the ball in the gaps out of the ballpark, but he's also got the ability to recognize, what, I'm in a battle here. And I'm going to compete in two strikes. I'm going to figure out a way to give myself the best chance to drive in a run, get on base, whatever it takes in the situation. So he's also done a really nice job. He's grown a ton behind the plate, and I'm enjoying working with him as our catcher. He's doing a really good job on all facets of the game.
I've got a question. So you aggressively used Sugar to pinch run there in with a 1-run lead, still middle of the game. For Jurickson, is that pulling the levers? Is that something like you consider part of your style? Is that something we'll see going forward, or was that specific to this game and that situation? Because I know a lot of managers probably wouldn't have gone that early to their bench for a pinch runner in that situation.
Well, it's going to be a close game, which it was. I don't know. I just call what the situation dictates. I mean, Pro's obviously a good player and has a lot of skill sets. So it's not. As I said earlier, it's more about what Sugar can bring in certain areas, because we trust Pro far in every situation. Late in the game doesn't matter, and every game's different. But Sugar is a plus runner, and just the situation you're looking at, we're in the bottom of the fifth, so we've and that spot clearly had just come up, so you don't know how many times you're going to turn the lineup back over. But I know this: we got a chance, with less than 2 outs, for the guy there to, they're going to bring the infield in. We know we got a chance to go in contact with second and third, or a fly ball. We're going to give ourselves a chance to, continue to add on. And so the situation dictated it, depending on if we've used anybody else during the game, or what it looks like later in the game, or how we feel about, the game, how it's going to go. Different decisions can be made. So, you got, if you think you're going to get the lead, which we did, and you're in the fifth, you got 6th, 7th, and 8th, that spot may be coming up one more time. You make the call.
Kind of a trade for plus running and defense maybe in that spot. I look, we lauded it because we'd kind of been, we've been saying for years, make strong moves. I mean, make strong moves, use the guys on the bench when you need to. So great. It was a really, really impressive win by the fellas, by yourself, battling back a couple of different times. I mean, you got to remember everyone in San Diego is still a little punch drunk from last year, not used to seeing that fight from the guys. There are no more slumping shoulders when you get down a run. It certainly has a different look, and obviously wish you guys continued success and keep doing what you're doing. And do you think, we were asking yesterday on our broadcast, Mike, we've seen the same 3 lineups. Now you mentioned today Eggy's going to be in there instead of Tyler Wade at third base. Was that a superstition thing, or was that a matchup thing, or how superstitious are you as a skipper?
No, it's not superstition. It's what gives us the best chance to compete, going into the game and during the game. So, we faced 3 righties and, felt like that was our best lineup to compete and to win. So that's what we ride with.
Nothing wrong with a little superstition. And speaking of that, what did Bob Melvin say to you when you shook hands with him before the game? I'm just kind of curious if you can share any part of your dialogue.
We just said hello. It's good to catch up. And, that was about it, really. It was just basic formality.
Just the formality. I loved, and we got to let you. I loved when you guys lined up, and your players just seemed so excited. The hugs, and I mean, really into it. I loved the fives. You were given, hard high fives to everyone as you went down the line when you were introduced as manager. And I loved that moment. The whole, as you said, the whole pregame ceremony though with Shildt and throwing out the first pitch and the moment of silence was really fun. Really special day, Mike. Looking forward to these conversations throughout the season. Appreciate it. Congratulations on getting that win, and let's get another one tonight.
Sounds great, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
There he is. Mike Shildt, our manager's report, brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union. Looking forward to these weekly chats.
This is amazing.
With Mike Shildt.
It's just a formality. It's just something that you do. Well,
I mean, Bob got booed when he was introduced. I wasn't sure, but it was definitely not a smattering. It was
boos.
It was boos. Yeah. There were boos for Bob Melvin. And then Blake didn't get introduced. They didn't introduce the Giants reserves like they did the Padres, so he never had an opportunity to get kind of recognized by the fans.
Well, the players
shades he got muddened on.
Yeah, he got muddened on some shades. And Manny went up behind him and bear hugged him. I mean, obviously there's still a lot of love for Blake Snell in this town, as there should be.
Yeah. And I thought he should have been cheered if he had been introduced, but he never got that chance. All right, did you have any reaction to that? Join us, chat at Ben and Woods on X, on Twitter, if you want to join us.
Thank you again to our friends at SDCCU for the management report. The manager's report brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union, and it's not big bank banking, it's better.
Outstanding. All right, if you want to join us, 833-288-0973. Last couple of segments of the week. Get you to 10 o'clock. Annie and Elston coming up. It's Ben and Woods. Check traffic right now on 97.3 The Fan. Up to a pound. Please call.
She does feel good. Yeah, she does feel good.
SDFatLoss.com. Check them out online today. Savvy.
Oh,
I like that
extremely
word,
savvy.
but
yes.
it's a good one to describe Mike Shildt, manager of the San Diego Padres. Take, for instance, my question about Manny Machado and the failed bat snap over his knee. He both didn't answer the question, yet also answered the question playfully and entertainingly, moving the conversation on in a positive direction. It's a skill. It's a skill that not everybody possesses, especially even people in high positions in baseball who have to deal with the media a lot. But it is undoubtedly a skill, and one that Mike Shildt seems to possess in abundance from our conversations with him so far.
Yeah, and I definitely got the sense from him. The burrito stuff. I kind of see his point of, look, I didn't think about this. He got bumped out of the rotation when they signed Dylan Cease, essentially, and because he has such a live arm, I mean, he hasn't been super effective yet, but I don't think the organization is looking at it as like he's terrible. I think they look at it as, no, he's still got stuff that plays, just gotten a little bit unlucky so far, but that they still really like what he can bring to the table. And like Ruben told me the other day, man, it takes a couple of weeks to figure it out. Now, if it's the seventh inning tonight, and Padres are up, down a run, and Johnny Brito comes in and gives up 3 straight hits again. Yeah, I mean, I think, but he's going to let them fail a little bit for a while. And again, you can't say enough good things about what Yuki Matsui was able to do yesterday, and Tom Cosgrove. Just electric stuff yesterday from those guys. Huge outs late in the game.
Johnny Brito is an interesting subject here, because depending on who you talk to, like Eno, very, very high on Brito, but I've also heard people who are not high on Brito at all and wondered why the Padres even wanted him in the Juan Soto trade. So,
well, I think if you watch his stuff, you realize that, again, he's got good stuff, and it's just finding a role for guys can be very difficult, and a lot of times it takes years before you can find a role for certain players. So hopefully that's not the case, and he gets settled in and gets some big outs. And a lot of people yesterday were saying, well, what about Enyel De Los Santos? Yeah, I mean, this is what the first couple of weeks of the season is for. They're going to have to try to figure out where to slot those guys. I don't wish that job on anybody,
as you mentioned. I mean, and you also have a game to play tomorrow. So just because they didn't use a Wandy Peralta or Enyel De Los Santos or Stephen Kolek doesn't mean that those, all right, we saw the top relievers today,
right,
and then anyone who didn't play obviously is a lesser reliever. No, you have to save some of your better relievers. You can't just have, all right, one game we're using our 4 best relievers, and then the next game we're using our 3 worst relievers.
Yeah,
exactly. That's not how baseball works. You mix them together so you have some good guys available every single day in case you end up in a high leverage situation with a 1 or 2 2-run lead in the 7th or 8th inning.
I was literally getting DMs. People were incensed yesterday that Mike Shildt would go to Johnny Brito. The only way, I think, to get trust is by getting opportunities to be trustworthy, right? Like the only way to earn trust. And right now, so far, 0 for 2, right? I guess with Johnny Brito.
But if Robert Suarez 2 years ago, when he came in that first game and blew the 9th inning to pieces, all of a sudden, well, we can never use him again. Well, you'd be much worse off.
Correct.
You have to keep getting on the horse with guys for a while, and then you make your judgment on them. But if you're snap judging after one appearance and going, we got to totally use him in a different situation than we were planning, I don't think you're doing it the right way as a manager.
And again, what is the right way as a manager? I certainly don't know. And the guy's getting dragged for bullpen management after one home game. I get it. It's going to be a long year, if you do that. Of course, the hindsight move is always 20/20. But I don't mind getting those DMs. But listen, I do subscribe to the fact that they know more about the matchups than I certainly do. They know more than I do, but. Again, if he runs him out there 8 times in a row and he falters, well, that's 8 games maybe you could have won. So
the beef in the chat says if Usak Go can be back up and pitching, how he should in the next 3 to 6 weeks, we'll have a great pen. I don't even know that he's the first up. Remember, in the minors now, they have Jeremiah Estrada, they have Alec Jacob, they have Randy Vasquez, they have Usak Go. There is a depth to the Padres bullpen right now that is enviable for a lot of teams.
Well, there is, and I think if you look at the guys yesterday, I mean, I know Suarez gave up the bomb in the ninth, didn't hurt you. You don't want to see that from your closer ever. But if you're Shildt and Niebla and Preller, for that matter, you look at what the guys checked off yesterday, and you put Yuki Matsui in high leverage, and what did he do? He delivered, and then some. You put Tom Cosgrove in high leverage, and he delivered, and then some. So, good. That's 2 check marks for those guys. Brito, you give him about a C, but they're going to get their chances. It takes a collective to eat those innings. They're going to do it the best way they know how. It's not Mike Shildt putting Johnny Brito in a game, it's nothing personal. Sometimes you have to just bite your nails and grit your way through it if you're the skipper. This is what the matchups say. I kind of want to go with this. I like what I've seen. Let me get him back on the horse.
And again, I'm going to do the same thing that you did. This is not an insult to Reese Kinnear, but putting Johnny Brito in is not like
Is
not like punting on the game.
That's how I
He's
feel.
He's a really good arm.
Poor
and
Reese is just our whipping boy.
He's just trying.
Poor guy. We can think of another name. I know.
We need to come up with
a fake name.
Come up with another guy you just throw in because you don't have anyone else. And unfortunately, he's been our example a little bit, which is totally unfair. But Padres don't have any of those guys in their bullpen right now. They don't. I mean, Avila's probably the closest. If the game got out of hand one way or another, you'd probably see Avila right now for 2 or 3 innings just to save everybody else. But otherwise, every single guy in the bullpen, I'm sure, is someone that they're excited about using, in games. It's not one of those hold your breath situations. What are we going to get? I think they're confident in everybody down there
for sure
at this moment. So it's a good spot to be in for Mike Shildt. All right, if you're on hold, you want to stay there, we can get to some phone calls. Last segment, Annie and Elston. I saw Craig already in. They're chomping at the bit to talk about the game. Champing at the bit. It's spelled champing.
You taught me that.
It's definitely spelled champing.
You taught me that it's champing at the bit.
I don't know whether it's pronounced one way or the other.
Well, chomp is CHOMP.
Right.
You said CHAMP.
Champing is how it's spelled.
Champing at the bit.
To join and get their 4 hours in coming up next. So we'll wrap things up when we return with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
That was a fun break.
Was it fun for you?
It was not fun for me.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I guess.
We don't know what you're talking about.
You do.
I do.
You started it.
I did. Hannah had mentioned in the chat a discussion of Robbie Erlin, and I had remembered that you had said before that Hannah once went on a date with the former Padres pitcher Robbie Erlin.
Indeed.
So I simply inquired as to
ask her. Tell everybody what you asked her. By the way, ask it the way you asked it off the air.
I said, "Did you go all the way with Robbie?
Did you go all the way?"
No.
The answer was no.
No.
But then what did you say?
I said, "Oh no."
Carnal relations.
I said, "Did you make out with him?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "You did?" I had no idea. Been married for how long? 6 years.
I think.
Yeah. Been together 10. That was a little break in our relationship. And
so that was only like 7 years ago.
But you crapped so bad on the date that I assumed you did not make out with him.
You gotta try it out to see if you want to go on a second date.
Well, you went out with me. We didn't make out on our first date.
I wasn't planning on going on a second date with you.
We have 2 children at home.
You were old.
I'm still old.
Oh my God.
But if you definitely
He's bald.
If you're definitely planning on going on a second date, you can also wait as well, right? Knowing that
you can. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah, she can. She did with me.
Hardcore either way, you don't have to make out with them. But if you are on the fence, then you do.
So it was on the fence. That's what was it?
Yeah.
Because he was bald? Probably.
No, I didn't.
I would guess.
That didn't.
No offense.
My dad was bald, so
it's fair. It's probably a check mark in his favor.
Oh yes, looking good.
Was it because he was short and you guys were the same height?
No, I think I have a big personality, and I think
You think so?
I don't want to overpower someone. So
I would disagree.
wasn't a fit.
I disagree.
So I would have no chance with Hannah if you two ever broke up.
Zero.
She'd overpower
First of all,
me.
I'm not the girl next door, so it's not a fit anyway.
First of all, you'd have no chance with her because your buddy that you worked with was married to her and has children with her. So that's strike one. So the answer was
Ben's like, is it?
Right.
Who was the? What was there? Wasn't there 2 pitchers who once just traded wives
it
and
was,
families, entire
2
families?
Yankees
Yeah.
pitchers. It didn't end well.
It didn't.
It
end
didn't
well,
end well
really.
for them.
No. It didn't end
They
well.
both
Shocking.
got divorced.
Shocking.
But one of the couples stayed together.
No, they didn't. I think
Yes.
they both split. It was Fritz Peterson and somebody else, and they
watched the movie on
they
it.
swapped wives.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, hey, let's for one night. It was like, no, I'm moving in.
Mike Kekich and
Kekich.
Fritz Peterson in 1972. They swapped wives. It was made public ahead of the 1973 season. Both players lived in New Jersey with their families, were very good friends. Very odd story in the 1970s. But the 70s were just...
It was an odd time.
Just a decade, apparently. I don't remember much of the 70s. I was very young. Paulie wasn't even around yet. Hannah wasn't even around yet.
No.
So I don't really know what was going on
You
back
don't
then.
go after your friend's wife, though. So, no, the answer is you wouldn't have a chance because you don't want a chance because she was married to your buddy and your co-host, right?
Right.
I did take a picture of the 2 of you guys the other night. That was incredible. Way better than any picture Hannah and I have ever taken together. I'm going to text it to Paul.
They look like a power couple.
You really
San Diego
do.
Power couple.
Ben looked like Steve Garvey in this picture. I went, probably a better looking couple than me and Hannah are. It was unbelievable. The SD Fat Loss's own, Ben and Hannah.
No, thank you, SD Fat
You guys
Loss.
are a little power couple, I guess.
Yo, so
Look at
yes,
this.
Fritz and Suzanne are still married.
I can't.
Oh, they are.
Kekich and Marilyn fizzled out and they split. At least as of the writing of this
told you,
story
one
in
of them made it.
2022.
You're right again.
Yeah.
Right again. Did you go all the way?
No.
Now I'm starting to doubt it because you never said that you made out with Robbie Erlin ever. How was it?
It escaped my mind.
Outside of the sports bar that he took her to
No,
for the
Chiefs.
first
Is that
date.
still there?
Chiefs.
That was my bit for a while to go.
I've
to
been to Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad spot.
It's
Solana
not
Beach
bad.
there.
It's not
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
This has been a fun show. Really enjoyed having you in. Anybody else in town that you made out with that I may need to know about? Probably. Anybody else famous?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Good.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ashley's got to love this segment. Celebrate and save at Ashley's anniversary sale with Hot Buys. Your choice of colors. Starting
like Robbie Erlin.
$399. Ashley Sleep Mattresses. Do what you want on them. Starting at $250. Plus, receive a free adjustable base with select mattress purchases only at Ashley. Let's check traffic before I get in any more trouble here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Got a couple of problems wrapping up our morning drive. Westbound 8 before El Cajon Boulevard, a crash blocking the right lane. Southbound side of the 805 past University, reports of a possible encampment fire. Some smoke visible from that right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I honestly don't know what to do now. You want to go to the phones?
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Paulie's got
I want to go home is what I want to do by myself.
Pulling up the picture of the two.
Yes.
You two lovebirds.
Look at this picture of them.
Look at
it's
them.
stunning. Look at that. Sorry for those of you listening on the radio. They really look great. Ben looks like a young Steve Garvey in his sport coat.
I almost look like I'm photoshopped into this picture somehow. I really was there. I didn't make the beginning of dinner, any of the eating or meal portions, but I was there at the end to take the picture with Hannah.
Yeah, Johnny says I'm going to cry in the shower later. Yeah, well, the Budweiser tall boy just crying in the shower later.
Ben, Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Steal Your Girl, real good. San Diego's premier couple. This sucks, dude. I hate this game. I'm having a miserable Friday. I wasn't going to be fussy today, and now I'm fussy.
Now, as I look closer at that picture, Paulie, call it up once more. There's a mirror behind us. Even the back of Hannah's hair looks good in that picture.
Yeah.
Let's see. Look at that. The back of my hair looks solid. We've got multiple angles. Now, who else can we see? Is that Paulie right there in the mirror way in the back of the picture? I think that might.
That's Woods in the corner.
That's
on your
Woods.
shoulder?
Yeah.
This is the Zapruder picture now.
Somebody said that's a framer. It absolutely. I do want that frame to put in my house. I would absolutely have that picture.
Which would be epic for people to walk in and comment on if you ever had anyone over to your house, which of course you don't.
That will never. I will tweet the picture. I will tweet the picture for those of you that missed it on the radio. Holy cow, man.
That is good.
I gotta get my ass in gear, dude. Any big weekend plans for the Ben & Woods crew here?
Try
Golf?
to stay dry. I don't think, not this weekend, apparently. It doesn't look good for Saturday and or Sunday for baseball viewing, golfing, or any other outdoor activities like Easter egg hunts on Sunday morning. Prepare to get wet.
Whoa. God.
What's happening today?
Save that. Are we going to do an Easter egg hunt for the boys? You, wife. Are we doing it?
Supposed to?
Yeah, we have two small children.
We're going to the Omni, and they have an Easter egg hunt.
Okay, they're going to do one there, but it's going to be raining, so we're going to do that.
I'm a big Easter person.
Yeah, I know. That's about it. Yeah, we're supposed to have a T-ball game tomorrow. That's going to be
You love
rained out.
deviled eggs. You have to at least have some deviled eggs
Ooh, that
this
sounds
week.
good.
Is that an Easter thing?
Well, I mean, you have a bunch of eggs that you just found that are hard
Oh,
boiled
yeah.
already, so then you just turn them into deviled eggs.
Well, it's
Is that
not as
what
easy.
everybody does?
It's not as easy as you don't wave a wand. They're kind of a pain in the ass to make, and
true.
by kind
It's
of,
true.
they're a massive pain in the ass to make. So I know I'm not making them, and I doubt very much Mrs. Woods is going to make them either.
Yeah, no.
But no, that's what we're going to do, and yeah, try to stay dry. It doesn't. I mean, it looks so beautiful out. We'll probably get tonight's game in. Tomorrow's game is a little bit suspect, and Sunday doesn't look good at all. So if you do have tickets for those games, I'm really sorry. That's kind of a bummer. I'm tweeting this picture.
Have we changed midweek games to be late now? They used to be afternoon games, and I've kind of noticed on the schedule that they're evening games.
Are they not doing the
most part.
Thursday business person special as they used to do anymore?
I did not notice.
You know,
that.
it oftentimes it has to do more with the team that's coming into town. If they have to get on a flight like back to the East Coast, they make those games early, not really as a special promotion to get people out of work, but it's more of a travel issue for the other team.
Yeah.
Like
that makes
they got to
sense.
fly out after the game and get back to
They still got midweek after.
the East Coast. So,
Yeah.
but
Wednesday the 10th, for example, is 3:40 instead of 1:10 or 12:40.
Yeah.
But
or anything like that.
oftentimes,
The
like
ninth
if
is
you're playing
7:05.
like a team like the Dodgers who just has to drive up the road, they'll make those night games because they do realize that more people still can make games in the evening than during the afternoon.
I see what you're talking about. So the Cubs series, the April 8th, 9th, and 10th, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That Tuesday game is a 7:05 first pitch here in San Diego.
Yeah.
Just 25 minutes later than normal. That must be a national TV
Yeah,
game.
must be national TV.
But that sounds awful.
But then the
that extra
following
25
week,
minutes.
4:40, the following week after that, 5:40. Just noticed it.
Yeah.
When I'm requesting the Odyssey Suite from Adam, I
Yeah,
just
right.
want to
Good
have
luck
game
getting
times.
it. Good luck getting
Yeah,
it.
there's
Do you
definitely
work
more
for KSON? Oh, you do? Then you
There's
can get
definitely more variety maybe in the game times this year
Mm-hmm.
than you've seen, but some have to do with national television, some have to do with travel schedules for the opposition, or if the Padres have to get out of town on a road trip after the game, they tend to make those a little bit earlier. Then you got the weird Sunday ones because there's like the Rock and Roll Marathon game, and then there's an ESPN game on Sunday coming up in just another week, I believe. The April 14th game at the Dodgers is a 4 o'clock game on a Sunday, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. So, yeah, check your local listings to make sure you know when all Padres games are taking place. Tonight is 6:40, which is kind of the traditional start time for Padres evening games during the week. So we'll have our Eco Water SoCal pregame show with Sammy Levitt at 5:40 p.m. But they did, mostly do away with those after 7 o'clock starts, which I can't even remember how we got through those. They seem so late now.
Like that 7:05 start in a week or two is like, I'm like, that's only 25 minutes, and that's even earlier than when games used to start, 7:10. I'm like, what were we doing?
How did we do it? Pedro in the chat says, guys, can I please get a quick shout out for my son who turns 15 today? We listen every day. Tier 1 Ben fans. So shout out
Thank you.
Pedro, to your son. You did not give us a name, but
and your whole family, but not in that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to your. Did you do the thing yesterday?
What's your problem?
So
what happened?
I took the picture, but Jared
It's not
and
a
Melissa.
picture.
We wanted the video.
I know, but they were in the booth the entire time I was up there. It wasn't like no one ever let me have the booth to shoot a video. They were in the middle of live television, and it's actually quite small. There's not even room for more than 2 people,
Take
so
some
I
initiative.
I just couldn't
Aren't
push
you
them
the
out of the
sports
way.
director?
Off of
Aren't you the sports director?
Yeah, but they're the news anchors, and they outrank me.
Do they out? Is that how it works?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The main
They
news
anchor,
anchors.
Yes. They
That's
anchor
why
the
your
show.
dad went from weather anchor to news anchor.
Oh, I
'cause
was so
they-
perturbed when he had to go back to weather.
They outrank us
Sorry.
weather and sports people. That's just how it works.
Really are like
the power rankings of
There are
the
power
station.
rankings.
the bottom rung.
Although I felt pretty highly ranked yesterday down at the Marriott when people were just constantly coming by, screaming at me, taking pictures, and Wale, our main anchor, is just sitting there going laughing, like he never had to get up once.
It hurts him. He's laughing, but it hurts him inside. It does hurt him inside.
But
for
I
sure.
told him, it's a Padres game. This is a once of the year kind of deal.
Alex says, Ben fans. There's a ton of those groupies. They're called the Benefits, which I like. I like very much.
Well, I imagine the Benefits are a big fan of things Ben likes.
Oh, big
And we
time.
have a brand new edition that debuted just yesterday. Let's hear it again. I like a lot of things. I like Chick-fil-A sauce. I just like rankings. I like Steve Winwood. I like Pie Gal Poker. I like to be informed on subjects. I like Chicago. I like Tom Petty. I like the idea of another left-handed bat in the lineup for sure. I do like a good Matt Damon film. I like being on the same page. I like broccoli. I like Brussels sprouts. I like a lot of things. I like this shirt. I like Wipeout. I liked my omelet. I like San Diego State at home. I like when a baseball player can be more than just a baseball player. I like vanilla. I like the atmosphere. I like the felt on a poker table, just kind of how it feels under your fingers when you're there. I like rhubarb pie. I like the window seat. Changing the subject. I like that. I like just the standard yellow peep. I like how San Diego State's playing right now. I like finer things. I like calling a game. I like fiction more than nonfiction. Right. Just like the cream. I actually like playing golf with other people. I've liked everything I've seen so far from Mike Shildt. I like Mexican food. I like just the solar system. I do like steak. I like specifics. I like going to 7 Mile Casino during the day. I like that people are there having a good time. I like my new eating schedule. I liked what I was eating. Yeah, I like the variety of the menu at Sammy's. I do like a good midnight buffet.
Oh, that is fantastic stuff.
So good.
How long is the full one?
Like if you
I haven't
play
made the
all
full
of them
one
together,
yet.
we haven't
We don't
had
have
the
time
full
for it now.
mashup. Yeah.
Is it 15 minutes?
It's getting long.
Each
that's for
one's
sure.
about a minute, 15 minute and a half.
So really only like 4 minutes worth of
4 to
things,
5 minutes.
things I like at this point. We can't. Woods' dream is just to have an entire 4-hour show.
See you later.
And we don't even show up that day.
We'll
It's
get
just
there. We will get
things
there.
Ben likes Wednesday or something.
So it's funny that you bring that up because the time you were out of town and me and Paulie played the Bob Dylan song in its entirety, 14 minutes of the Bob Dylan song. 17 minutes. We played the whole thing.
I was listening on my drive up to Disneyland.
And it was
with my son, yeah.
excruciating to play, and it was excruciating probably to hear. But I want 17 minutes of likes. I want to have the same length of the Bob Dylan opus in like form, and I think we can get there probably by the end of the year, if I had to imagine. But that's what I want.
Happy to oblige.
That's what my dream is to get 17 minutes of Bob Dylan, like Rub-a-Dub-Dub, whatever that song was called.
So, we get another big week next week. They just keep coming after us with big events.
Yes.
And on Tuesday, of course, we'll be out for the 97.3 The Fan Poncho Night at Petco Park, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. My first time ever doing it.
Really?
Yeah, never. Other than that Lake Elsinore one, which I don't really count because it wasn't the official first pitch. It was simply the first pitches with
Now,
like 17 other people.
Are we doing the ceremonial? I don't know.
I think we're doing the actual. There's no other first pitches at Petco Park. This is the ceremonial first pitch.
Oh boy!
So maybe bring your glove on Monday so we can do a little practice.
I have a question. We don't bring our gloves to the mound, right? You don't do that.
No.
Okay. That's
No,
Oh my
you just walk out and you have the baseball
Actually,
ready.
no,
in your
you
hand.
totally should bring your glove.
Hey Ben,
Everybody brings
everyone's
their
bringing their
gloves.
gloves
too. Woods.
What kind of idiot wouldn't bring their glove?
Also, where do we throw from?
Right in front.
In front of the mound.
I'm not messing up whoever's pitching that day. I'm not messing up their mound with my.
I believe it's
my
Darvish's
beat.
schedule.
Oh, I'm definitely not messing up U's mound by stepping on it. No chance. So we'll be back Monday, 6 a.m. We'll have hopefully 3 games, but probably 1 game to talk about. For Paul Reindl, for Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins.
What about Hannah Nancaro?
And Hannah Nancaro Woods.
Hey, try not to make out with anybody before we leave.
Coming up next here on The Fan.